Hi, welcome to the channel. Jay, and this is our 2 cents where we talk everything boxing, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. In today's live, we will be discussing Fight Week, Shakur Stevenson trolled by Turkey, and Tank fight still not announced. But before we do that, make sure you punch that like and subscribe button, and make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go throughout the video. Now, y'all know this is 2 cents after dark, so we'll get started on the boxing topics, but you never know what direction the conversation might turn. Last time we did the 2 cents after dark, baby, can you turn that fan down? Last time we did the 2 cents after dark, we had a very, very nice discussion on some issues that was very near and dear to Paid in Full. But it was a very interesting conversation. Everybody enjoyed it. So we're back. I know I missed a couple of lives, but we're back now. We're back now. So there's some issues, some things that I want to talk about tonight that I just feel like people not being honest, right? And not that they not being honest. Yeah, they not being honest. I feel like maybe it's some things people haven't thought about, and I feel like it may be some things on one side people haven't thought about, and it may be some things that they've thought about on the opposite side of this argument that they cannot say because they're too busy capping. But I'm going to wait for a couple of more people to pull up in here before we get started on the conversation tonight. It's fight week. You got Berlanga Sherez. You got Shakur Stevenson Zepeda. You got Baumgartner fighting. You got Sherdasha Breeze of Venom. It's a lot of fights going down this weekend. We can drop the link and come up, and y'all can drop y'all 2 cents about it. But something that's been bothering me, right? Something that's really been bothering me. I gotta talk about it, y'all. And I don't know how many of y'all are new here. I don't know how many of y'all have been following me, but I say this all the time, right? I have fighters I like. I have fighters that I guess you could quote unquote say don't like. I don't even want to say don't like. I have fighters that I criticize all the fighters. So I have criticism and opinions about fighters, but just because I have criticism and opinions about fighters don't mean that I can't just state the obvious and be honest. It doesn't mean that I'm going to think everything is okay and acceptable that happens to that fighter because I have an opinion and criticism. And I realize that a lot of people in these YouTube streets, because they'll say stuff to me like, "Oh, you just saying that because you a Tank fan." I'm thinking in my head like, why would I? What does me being a Tank fan have anything to do with the opinion that I'm expressing right now? But I had to realize that that's what a lot of y'all do. People like Hannibal, who came in my chat, and it's the first thing that he wrote. Tank waiting on Jake Paul to throw him a bone. Get out of here. That's the first thing he wrote before. That's the first thing he wrote while the song was still playing and the video was playing on the intro. But I had to realize that, there's a lot of fans that come from that. And this is not a shot to nobody, but it's a lot of fans that come from that immature way of thinking to where it's like nan and a boo boo type thing. Like, oh, if I don't like you, then anything that's done to you, I'm cool with it. I'm gonna make excuses for it like it's cool. I'm not about to do that. I'm not about to do that. And I know a lot of y'all are probably wondering what I'm talking about. So let's get into this, right? Turkey Sheik continuously pushing this no running thing, posting the Tom and Jerry. Now, I don't know if Turkey is trying to be funny, but I don't take things people like Turkey say lightly. Somebody that comes from a country where if he don't like your opinion of him, he can get you put in jail. That's the type of power and the type of thought process that Turkey comes from. So to me, I don't keep key and ha at Turkey's jokes because I don't know if he's playing or not. I don't know the man. I don't know his sense of humor. I guess he thought it was funny to lie and manipulate people with that whole Canelo thing and then come out and tell you that he lied and manipulated you with the media. He thought that was funny. He was amused and entertained by that. And so that's what I mean when I say I don't really rock with him joking like that. You posting the smaller ring, you posting the ring gonna shrink as the fight goes on. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing that? Let's think about how this no running thing originated in the first place, right? He had two fights on a card, and the fighters didn't perform how he wanted them to perform. Devin Haney and William Skull. I don't know William Skull. I'm not a fan of William Skull. He did run around in that fight. He didn't have a reason to fight like that, in my opinion. But he did say that he was told by Turkey not to hurt Canelo. But that's another story. We gonna leave that out. Scratch that. So then you got Devin Haney, right? And this is what I'm saying about when your fan base just won't be honest about things and other things start happening, you can't be honest and speak up because you wasn't honest previously. So it's just like a snowball effect. But I don't do that, so I can be honest. Devin Haney has a fight with Jose Ramirez where he runs around for 12 rounds and people all around the boxing community agree that it wasn't a good performance from Devin Haney. It wasn't a good performance. It wasn't what everybody was expecting. He working with Shane Mosley, talking about teaching him how to turn his punches over. So we thinking he finna go in there and get busy. That's what we were expecting. Now, time. This is where it's time to be honest. All the Hanos clan, everybody. This is where it's time to be honest. Haney got in that ring, coming off of that Ryan Garcia fight, where nobody knew how Devin was gonna be physically or mentally. Everybody wanted to know how Devin was gonna come back, how he was gonna look. Is he a quote unquote damaged fighter? Did those right hands from Ryan Garcia affect him? So Devin Haney gets in the fight, puts on a lesser performance. We're able to see that physically he looks fine, but mentally he may not be all there yet. He may need another fight or two. And that's okay, y'all. Of course we gonna talk shit. It's the boxing community. Of course, people gonna get on here. Oh, Devin ran around. We gonna talk shit, this and that. We expected something different. Okay, cool. But y'all can't act like people don't understand that he's coming off the fight with Ryan Garcia. We didn't know how he was gonna look, and we didn't know what to expect. He get in there and put on a lackluster performance. Name another performance from Devin Haney that you felt was lackluster. I'm waiting in the chat. And a lot of people saying, oh, he didn't want to risk the Ryan fight. I wouldn't go with that argument because, in my opinion, that's even more weak. So I'm not gonna go with that argument. I'm going to say he just wasn't, he just got to get back into things after coming off that brutal ass whooping from Ryan Garcia, after getting dropped continuously for 12 rounds. We don't know where he was at mentally. He finally was able to get back in the ring, get his feet wet, blah, blah, blah. And he was supposed to fight Ryan Garcia next. So I'm just going to say he just need to get another fight off under his belt because we can't even really gauge where Devin Haney is at off of that performance. He gave you a bad performance, a lackluster performance. Okay, he's never gave you a bad or lackluster performance before. He do one. Let him have one. Cool. But that don't mean we're not gonna talk shit. Don't get it twisted. Just because I understand doesn't mean I'm not going to talk shit. So boom, he got a lackluster performance. Here come Turkey. Oh, I'm shrieking the ring. No more Tom and Jerry. I want to see this. I want to see that. I want to see this. And I said at the time, what is all these fights that Turkey felt like he seen people was running around in Tom and Jerry that he felt like he needs to shrink the ring and change the rules? We're talking about two fights you seen, Turkey. We're talking about Devin Haney, who just came off of a brutal beating from someone who was allegedly on steroids, his first fight back. And then you had William Skull. I don't know why the hell William Skull was running around, but allegedly you told him not to hurt Canelo. So those are the two fights we had. Now all of a sudden we shrinking the ring. We don't want rules. Everybody keep talking about no Tom and Jerry. And they keep talking about this. And I'm like, why? So then we fast forward to now. Shakur Stevenson fight coming up. Turkey trolling. Oh, no Tom and Jerry. Shakur Stevenson. Oh, but beat Tom ass or whatever he said. And I'm trying to understand the no running thing originated from the fatal flop card. When did Shakur Stevenson get thrown into this, y'all? When did Shakur Stevenson get thrown into this? Because Shakur Stevenson has had one fight with Turkey, and that's Padley. Did he run around the ring? He got a stoppage. He wasn't running around the ring. He had a fight with Ella Santos when people felt like he ran around the ring because he was injured, the power, whatever the case may be. But he was with Top Rank. He wasn't even with Turkey. And he literally hasn't had a performance like that since. I get it. People talk noise. Oh, he run around the ring. He on the blah, blah. I get it. We get it. We talk shit. Cool. But you got to stop and be real for a second. This stuff Turkey doing with Shakur Stevenson that's running around the ring, I don't even understand where it's coming from. Shakur Stevenson has not done anything while affiliated with Turkey to make Turkey keep trolling him about Tom and Jerry fights and running around the ring. In my opinion, it's just giving undue pressure that's not needed. They got enough pressure from the fans. They got enough pressure from this and that. They don't need you posting the person that's putting on the event how you don't want to see no Tom and Jerry fights and people running around the ring. So I listened to this interview with Mike Coppinger, and I want to play it for y'all. And I want to get y'all 2 cents about it because I don't know how I felt about the interview. I just kind of felt like Mike was tripping a little bit. I'm gonna let y'all hear it because this I can't quite put my finger on it, but this whole situation is crazy to me. Supreme, Big Supreme in the building. What up, Big Supreme? Big Supreme told me I'd be overthinking earlier. He say I'd be overthinking, but hey, it is what it is. But he said Charlie Edwards literally ran around the whole ring and refused to engage. Nobody remembers because he is a white UK kid and Sonny Edwards' brother. I mean, they're gonna exaggerate. You know they're gonna exaggerate Big Supreme. You know they're gonna exaggerate. But I'm like for real, like we gotta be honest. Devin Haney has never gave y'all a bad performance for real. He hasn't. He can have a bad performance. Are we gonna talk shit? Yes. But y'all not about to sit here and act like Devin Haney fights like that all the time. All he do is run around the ring. Like y'all are not aware that he's coming off of a brutal beating, taking right hooks from Ryan Garcia, getting dropped for 12 rounds on somebody allegedly, and I say allegedly in air quotes, on steroids. So you see him in the next performance, he don't perform how you And nobody should have even had an expectation on how they thought Devin Haney was going to perform because we didn't even know. That fight was to see where he was at, and we seen where he was at. Period. Now, if he does it again and again, yeah, he's doing this, he running, he blah blah blah, whatever the case may be. But in my opinion, for Turkey to keep stressing this no running thing, why is he doing it? Everybody like, oh, he trolling, he just playing. I don't see Jake Paul trolling and playing when he putting on cards. I don't see Eddie Hearn trolling and playing when he putting on cards. And people say, oh, well, Oscar De La Hoya with the clapback Thursday, he's not trolling and playing. I mean, he is trolling, but he's not playing about the fights and the cards that he's putting on. He's just gossiping and talking shit about stuff in boxing. He's not doing that. So to me, it's just, I mean, it's not okay to me, bro. No, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't like it. So then I listened to this interview today with Mike Coppinger. Let me find the part I want to play. I don't know if Ring Magazine gonna flag me if I play it like how I do fight hype videos. So I'm just gonna play it from my phone. But y'all listen, and I'm gonna be positive. And Mike Carpenter is a weird guy. Like, do y'all watch him talk? It's like he's so aggressive. Like he's just his body language is weird. Put a one in the chat if you could hear it. Yeah, I think Shiraz is not going to stand there and be foolish and trade with Berlanga, especially on the inside. I think the fight for Shiraz is to keep it long, use his jab, use his speed, and then Berlanga's going to be pressuring and winging bombs in there. I want to talk about Shakur Stevenson against Williams of Hager. No. I mean, this is an interesting fight. The way it breaks down, especially, you've got to credit Shakur is obviously, defensive master. I guess Zapata is a pressure fighter. How excited I can see you for this fight? And I guess if you pressure on Shakur, you could say. I'm excited for it. I think this style fish usually produces pretty good fight. Even the reporter is like, yeah, y'all putting extra pressure on Shakur. Even the reporter saying that. Caroline Zapata really assert himself in there, come to ring off, and make it an ugly, rough, tumble fight. For Shakur Stevenson, he says in every fight he's gonna put his opponent and never does. But he's capable of it. Yes, I think he's a really good fighter. Great footwork, great jab. But this boxing is a showcase. It's not enough to simply win. I'm not asking Shakur Stevenson to just get trained there. We're saying, y'all heard him. He said it's not enough to simply win. This is what we've been trying to tell y'all. It's not enough to simply win. However, it's also not your job to tell me how to win. It's not that like y'all are out of it's this none of this is their place, in my opinion, right? I could criticize you. I could say, oh, Shakur running around the ring, he do this. Oh, he should exchange more. He should do this. But it's you. Do y'all get what I'm trying to say? I feel like they out of line with this right now. Maybe throw a combination rather than one punch it is. So when he says on stage, you bring a medal to Arsenal, you don't necessarily believe in that. I want to believe, I hope he's telling the truth. I want to see good fight. I think Shakur's will doing that and he tries. But in the past, we've heard many times, we've seen Shakur extend the distance by guys that really shouldn't be going the distance with him. Again, we're not. Who is Mike Coppinger to be telling Shakur Stevenson who should be going the distance with him? Shakur Stevenson is a pure boxer. People gonna go the distance with him. He don't knock people out. Like, what are we talking about, y'all? You This is so out of line. This is so out of line. You talking about he in there with people who shouldn't be going the distance with him. Who? How are you determining that? He's a boxer. Who shouldn't have went the distance with him? He's not a knockout. It's one thing if you say that about Tank. Oh, they should be going the distance with him. Tank knocks out damn near everybody he fight. It's different if you say Deontay Wilder. Oh, they shouldn't be going the distance with him. Deontay Wilder knock out damn near everybody he fight. Do Shakur Stevenson knock out damn near everybody he fight? No, he doesn't.
Saying that Shakur Stevenson should be standing there fighting like God and War. Saying like kind of Jeremiah Nakatila and Archer jabbing with this Shakur Stevenson, if he inserted himself and sat down his punches just a bit. Yeah. There was actually something I wanted to ask you. I'm seeing put a few things about it. Obviously, I think a lot of comments can show when turning out shakers talking about sort of Tom and Jerry fights, and people not really understanding what you meant by that. A lot of people sort of direct that what you call for his defensive style. I guess what's your reaction to that? Because it's not necessarily like running in a ring, you know what I mean? Like, it's sort of your thoughts on people sort of misinterpret that. It's still like this interpretation, there's a lot of nuance in boxing. You can have a breakdown.
You know why it's a misinterpretation? Because it's too subjective. Some people think Devin ran around. Some people think he put on a masterclass performance. What do you mean by running around? You cannot tell people how to fight. If they get in there and they run around, they just get in there and they run around. They lose the fight. They will have consequences for fighting that way. You don't need to make people fight a different way. Like, that's the biggest issue we're having, right? Nobody's going to make you fight a certain way. Either you're not going to get fights or they're going to match make you to fight to get the results that they want. But you're not going to take a pure boxer and tell him who he shouldn't have went the distance with. Like, he just knocked out everybody. And this is what I'm saying. Like, y'all got Turkey over there running and doing all of this stuff, and he don't even know what he doing and what he talking about. He's a casual fan with a lot of money that's running around renting boxers from promotional companies and putting them in fights and then trying to tell them what the hell that they need to do in the ring. Am I tripping? Because that's what it's sounding like. And the more and more this shit go along, more and more getting exposed. Y'all can sit there and act like y'all don't see it, but I see it.
To move and use your speed and your footwork and your skills and still put on a good entertaining fight. I think Floyd Mayweather's done it many, many times. Obviously, there's some fights where Floyd Mayweather didn't do that. But when I think of somebody running, I'm thinking of Lloyd Skull against Canelo, where you're making Canelo miss it and not making him pay. That's the thing. The sport is hit and not get hit. So if you're not hitting, then to me, that's an issue. No one wants to see that. This is entertainment at the end of the day. So if you're moving and you're making the guy miss and you're fighting defensively minded fight, that's when the guy misses and counter him and make him pay. Maybe throw him and counter him. I'm just
literally trying to tell this man. Do y'all hear this? Please tell me if I'm tripping. They literally trying to tell this man how to fight. When he throw, make him miss, make him pay, make him pay. Like Mike Coppinger look like he ain't never even threw a 1-2. These people out of here with this, man. This shit is out of line. You up here talking about Shakur Stevenson? Why you not talking about nobody else? Shakur Stevenson wasn't even in this running shit y'all talking about. He ain't had nothing to do with this. His first fight with Turkey was with Padley. He didn't run around. He didn't run around. Y'all talking about a De Los Santos fight from, what, 2 years ago? I mean, I know we talk shit as fans. I get it. But these ain't fans, y'all. It's a time to play and a time to be serious. And right now, it's time to be serious because they really putting all this pressure and all this stuff on Shakur, trying to tell this man how to fight, trying to tell him he shouldn't have went the distance with this person like he's some type of knockout artist. They sound like casuals.
they keep moving and avoiding contact at all costs. You think Shakur comes under that Tom Jerry style? Absolutely. Let's call a spade a spade. Shakur Stevenson, the reason he's not a man on Saturday, let's face it, his last two main events, his own fans were walking out of the fights before they were over.
That is cap. His last two main events, the fans was walking out the fight before they was over. Are you talking about the Padley fight? Was they walking out the Padley fight? Are you talking about the Artem fight? Was they walking out the Artem fight? No, they were not, bro. What is Mike Coppinger talking about?
And what De Los Santos was brutally awful watching. I think it was Chicago about sprinters. And, again, you have to put in the stress in there. I think Shakur Stevenson's fully to blame. But that was a boring fight. That was a main event. And then you had the fight against Artem Hurricane, and that was an awful fight too. That was, fans were walking out. It's not me giving it a opinion. ESPN showed fans walking out. There's nobody during it. So again, I think the only reason we're so harsh maybe on Shakur Stevenson is we know how good and talented he is, and you just want to see him put it all together. And if Williams does his part, because he has to do his part too.
Yeah, this is some bullshit, y'all. I'm telling y'all. Listen, I call out BS when I see it, and this is BS right now because he didn't fight Artem with Turkey. And was they walking out the Artem fight? I don't remember nobody. I don't remember talking about people walking. I remember he didn't sell as many tickets, but I don't remember nobody walking out the Artem fight. I don't remember them walking out the Artem fight. It's out of line, bro. I'm telling y'all, it's out of line. It's other fighters on that card. Y'all ain't got no criticism of no other fighters on the card. Shakur Stevenson, the only person y'all can find to criticize on that card, bro.
He has to cut off the ring. He has to kind of fight like Marcus McDonald did against Floyd Mayweather, in my opinion, to really have a chance to make this fight. Yeah, essentially, this, should be in the promoter. Essentially, when you do have your promoters who are coming outside of need want more aggression, because that extra pressure on the course, like, you really need to deliver on Saturday. I think it's like a Jake Paul thing. He subconsciously knows that. Bottom line, Sure, Stevenson's young dummy knows that if you want to get opportunities in the end, in the U.S., we had to see HBO around. HBO wasn't giving guys opportunities over and over and over just because they were winning. So when anyone says it's just, all I have to do is win, that's not the case. The reason guys like Canelo Alvarez make so much money is because they put on exciting fights. So again, I don't think Shakur Stevenson needs to be foolish. You don't have to take extra hits to the head. Certainly, we know this is a dangerous sport. You're just saying, stand your ground a bit, and if there's the opportunity there, take it. Yeah, just as much Shakur yesterday. Obviously, the major holiday. So
Oh yeah, he did get booed in Saudi, and nobody could answer my question. Why was Shakur Stevenson getting booed in Saudi? Nobody ever answered that. And they was like, oh, because Padley people was there. Really? Padley people came to Saudi Arabia on 3 days' notice to come watch him fight? Stop it. Why was they booing Shakur Stevenson in Saudi? Y'all remember? Y'all remember? I kept asking this. Nobody could give me an answer. And I said then, that shit's not cool. Why is Shakur Stevenson getting booed in Saudi?
we spoke about that. I think there's a world where that's what happens, especially sort of on when returns involvement of real season happen. I think anything's possible in sport of boxing, right? With the money available and the desire for Turkey also to put on the best fights. But again, is Javante Davis going to want to fight Shakur Stevenson? It's a boring fight. I think probably not. Javante Davis puts on action fights. That's why he's a big star. And the fans are going to be clamoring for Javante Davis against Shakur Stevenson if we don't get an exciting fight on Saturday. I don't think so. So again, Shakur Stevenson, yes, he has to win, but he has to win in some sort of style. I don't understand. I know you reported the ring.
So you telling me Mike Coppinger just named damn near all of Shakur Stevenson fights at 135 and complained about how he fought, but Turkey signed him anyway? But Turkey signed him anyway. So you knew Shakur Stevenson was a boring fighter before you signed him? Is that what you're saying? You knew. So you signed a boring fighter so you could try to tell him how to fight and do something different. Like I don't understand what's going on here, y'all. Like Big Supreme said, maybe I'm overthinking it. I don't know, but it's just something is not sitting right with me. I just want to talk to y'all about it because I know y'all gonna give me y'all 2 cents.
That's still the case. Obviously, no formal announcement from BBC. I've heard there are some issues. Now, I believe the fight is going to happen. Could it move? Yeah, we've seen a lot of PBC fights where the fights move a few weeks, move a month. I think anything's possible there. But nothing's finalized yet. And certainly when you're, almost 30 days out, you're about, around 45 days out right now. It's concerning that there hasn't been any formal announcement. Yeah, no, just before I did I did have to ask about February Saudi. it's an incredible card, and fans are always going to find something to complain about. I've seen fans say now that Dan Rodriguez is being disrespected because he's fighting, in the third fight of the night. I don't think he's being disrespected. I think Dan Rodriguez is great exposure for him. He's one of the best talents in boxing, and he gets to fight on a stacked card. David Benavidez, great interview, great action.
Just because you on a stack card don't mean you get no exposure. Ain't nobody watching these turkey cards. And we're gonna talk about that next too. Ain't nobody watching these turkey cards. Ain't nobody buying these tickets. You're not getting no exposure on no turkey card. I gotta be honest. Ain't nobody buying these pay-per-views. If they ain't buying tickets, they're not buying the pay-per-views either, guys. It's a correlation. The ticket sales is correlated to the pay-per-view sales. You're not gonna not sell tickets, but sell pay-per-views. Stop playing.
Great fighter. Anthony York. Look at big upset. York has put on big performances in these kind of spots. He better be able to handle. He gives Sergey Kovalev all he can handle as well. And Brian Norman and Haney. Again, Devin Haney. I'm a fan. Devin Haney always takes on tough challenges. Yes, that was not the best performance, the best version of Devin Haney you saw against Jose Ramirez. But I think Devin Haney knows he has a lot to prove. And his first fight at full-fledged weight of 147, taking on a big puncher. I know it's going to be an action fight. And you have to look Dan Rodriguez against Fernando Martinez.
So you're telling me, right? Did you hear what he just said about Devin Haney? He agreed with me. He had a bad fight, whatever. That's not Devin's MO. He normally don't put on bad performances, whatever, right? But you're gonna go so hard on Shakur Stevenson when the fight you talking about with De Los Santos was 2 years ago, when people was really saying he running around, but you feel like he shouldn't be going the distance with this guy, and that guy, he needs to sit down and sit on his punches and do this and do this and do what? What? When the whole no running around the ring thing started with Devin and William Skull? I don't know, man. Listen. Y'all know I'm not Shakur's biggest fan, but I'm gonna call out BS when I see it. When Shakur Stevenson went over there to Saudi and they was booing him, my red flag went up then, because how the fans don't like you in Saudi? How y'all don't like me in Saudi? How does anybody in Saudi not like a boxer? How did you put me on your cards and fight when you already knew how I fought before I got here? I wasn't knocking people out like that. What makes you think I'm about to start now? What makes y'all think, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, y'all. But hey, I could just be overthinking it, like Big Supreme say. I'll be overthinking sometimes. And then that leads me to the next topic, and I'm gonna drop the link. I've been talking about 30 minutes. The ticket sales, y'all. Why nobody going to this, like, serious question? Why nobody going to the fight? Why nobody going to the fight? Ain't this in like 8 hometowns? I don't understand why Turkey put these cards on. They got names on them, but people don't want to go see them. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Like, ticket sales is struggling. We talking about Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson was selling tickets at top rank. It ain't like he can't sell tickets. Now, we're not gonna sit up here and act like he don't sell no tickets. We're gonna be honest. He was selling tickets at top rank. Why he can't sell no tickets with Turkey? And he should have been the main event, stupid. Why would you think Sherez and Berlanga is better at a main event than freaking Shakur Stevenson, who's already has name recognition and fights in his hometown? It don't make sense. Nobody had a problem with his last performance. He stopped whoever he fought. And you're telling me you're not putting him on the main event because you felt like he should have stopped people that you thought he should have been able to stop? But now you got Sherez and Berlanga the main event, and this ain't selling no tickets because nobody know who the F they are. When Shakur Stevenson has already done home fights, sold thousands of tickets, and you're not going to put him as the main event? This is crazy. This is crazy. But let me go ahead and drop the link for you. I just want to get that off my chest right fast. Because I've been thinking about that all day. I keep seeing this. I'm like, why are they doing this? Like, seriously. And why is everybody so okay with it? I think this will be a good fight for Shakur Stevenson. Um, it's an opportunity for him to prove what he got to prove. And I'm telling y'all now, he's not shaking that stigma if he just wins. He has to put on a good performance. Because it seems like folks is against him. I don't even know why Turkey signed him. If you thought I was boring, what you fooling with me for if you think I'm boring? Don't bring me over here if you think I'm boring and tell me I gotta start knocking people out. Shout out to Paid in Full on the page.
What's up, Toussaint?
What up, Paid in Full? Shout out Tony.
What I was gonna say was, I'll let you bring it.
Coach Eddie. Coach Eddie, what up, Coach Eddie?
Hey, what's good? What's good? Salute everyone on the panel.
Paid in Full, what's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Well, I was gonna say, with the autumn fight, they were walking out his fight. Another thing is, with Mike Coppinger and Shakur, they got bad blood, so I wouldn't expect him to say anything positive about Shakur. So I pretty much would take that with a grain of salt. Anything that he say relating to Shakur. Um, Another thing was with with Shakur. Turkey posted something saying that he wasn't talking about Shakur in that sense. But again, it's kind of hard to believe that when he kept on referring to Shakur when he was making them posts. So
But why is he making the post? Shakur's the only one that quote unquote run around. But I'm like, I don't even know. Y'all didn't even start that run around stuff for Shakur. So I don't even know.
yeah, that's why I said I wonder where that came from. I think more so they putting more pressure on him to make him perform, but I kind of think like, damn, he's still human. So at the end of the day, like, damn, if the nigga lose, then shit, I can imagine what type of pressure this man gonna go through. And I hope you don't lose. I hope you get through that fight. But yeah, with Mike Coppinger, I just wouldn't take anything that he said serious. And yeah, when he was in Saudi, they was booing him as well, which I didn't understand that at all.
I've been asking since it happened why he got booed. Nobody told me nothing.
Yeah.
Let me get the super chat real quick. Shout out Broken Dangerous with the $1.99 in the super chat. Just showing love to the channel. Salute.
And another thing, I was wondering that as well. When before he signed to Eddie Hearn was saying that he was a boring fighter. So I'm trying to understand. That's why I was asking. I think it was a while back. Like, why would he even sign to Eddie
Yep.
Hearn if he felt that way towards him?
Exactly at the beginning. We were saying that.
Yeah. So I don't understand. I think Shakur need to get this fight out the way and get the fuck away from them people.
But he can't leave Turkey now. But we're gonna talk about it. Tony Reviews, what's your 2 cents? What you got for the show? I can't hear you, Tony, if you're talking.
Yeah, there we go. There it is. All right, cool. Um, I don't think it matters. Like you could say he's boring. You could say he doesn't get fans. You could say whatever you want to say, but eventually they said the same thing about Mayweather, and he built his name and his money off of people paying to see him lose. They used to say Floyd is a runner. Floyd don't want to fight. Floyd ain't gonna do this. He ain't gonna do that. And then he turned out to be the highest paid fighter in the history of boxing. So
That's
they
not
can say
that's
whatever
not
they want to
working
say
out
about
that way for
Shakur.
Shakur though. That's not working out that way for Shakur though, Tony.
Well, he's still young. It didn't work out that way
He,
for Floyd early in his career. It wasn't until he beat Oscar De La Hoya that he started racking in money. And that was midway to the latter part of his career. So, again, the paydays will come. It doesn't matter what they say. All that matters at the end of the day is winning because he's only one win away from beating the guy who's allegedly the best of the division. So, let's say if Shakur fights Tank and he beats Tank, it don't matter how bad people hate. hate him or say he's boring, they're gonna pay to see his next fight. If Shakur goes up in weight and beats Teofimo Lopez, people are gonna pay to see his next fight, regardless. All it is one. That's the history of boxing. You just one big win away, taking everybody's like somebody's all their fans. One big way. That's been the history. Cash cows get replaced all the time by the dude who beats them. So I like how Shakur
No, they
fights.
do not, Tony. That is false.
They do.
Cash cows do not
Nah,
get
that's
replaced
not
by the
true.
people that beat them. That is cap, Tony.
Yeah, that's
All
not
the
true.
time in boxing, you see it happen.
Name somebody. Name the situation that happened.
I
'Cause
already named one.
even when Bud
Oscar
beat
De
Earl,
La Hoya was the money
still a
man.
big name.
Floyd beat him, became the money man.
But even when Bud beat Earl Spence still was a big name in boxing.
What are you talking about? When Bud beat Earl Spence, now he's going into the a bigger payday than Earl Spence has ever seen in his life.
Only because of Turkey.
Because of Turkey, bro.
It doesn't matter who it's because of.
What you
No,
talking
it's
about?
not only because of
But if
Turkey.
it wasn't
Incorrect.
for Earl Spence,
No, 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 no,
right
no,
now,
no, no,
Earl
no, no, no,
Spence,
no, no. You
he
can't
don't
do
Earl
that.
is
all
still a bigger
because of
star.
Canelo.
Hold on. Let me say this, Tony. Earl is still a bigger star than Terrence, and Earl will still generate more revenue than Terrence Crawford. Terrence Crawford is not generating nothing. He got a sugar daddy. It's completely different.
No, it's not, because had Terrence Crawford not beat the brakes, had he not beat the brakes off of Earl Spence Jr., Turkey would have never offered him a payday. Had Earl Spence won that fight,
That's not
Turkey,
necessarily
hold
true,
on,
'cause
paid
he
in
was-
full. Had Earl Spence won that fight, Turkey would have been offering Earl Spence the same
That's
money
not
that he's
true.
offering
Earl would
Crawford.
not be
Bud
fooling
was
with
Crawford
already
Turkey.
dealing
took
with
it
Daniel
from him.
Cunningham. That's who he was trying to
All
get
right.
him to.
Let him finish. Let him finish. Go ahead, Tony.
Crawford took it from him. You know how he took it from him? Because originally they were talking about Earl Spence Jr. fighting Canelo if he beat Crawford. Crawford literally ripped that fight away from
That
him,
is false.
ripped that payday away from him. And now he's about to get it and make $50 million in one night.
Says
He
who?
is. First of all, he's not making $50 million. And second of all, they was talking about Earl fighting Canelo at 160 a while ago.
Like, people be tripping, bro. Y'all be talking about these paydays, but then y'all don't have no facts to back that shit up, bro.
Coach Eddie, what's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Yeah, like as far as people not, I mean, the fans not liking Shakur. I mean, you can't make somebody like you. I mean, it doesn't matter. You know, you can go out there, you could give out turkeys and give hams out, and buy people Christmas presents. They're gonna find a way to criticize you. If they don't like you, they don't like you. Ain't that you could do to make somebody like you? So, best thing he could do was just keep winning. You know what I'm saying? Stay undefeated, because that's really what his career is going to revolve around. Is being an undefeated fighter. Both him and Devin, both of the guys need to stay undefeated. Man, and that's what you really want anyway. You want to finish your career undefeated if possible. But at the end of the day, also, like, you can't really compare Floyd and Shakur's, uh, career. But for one, Shakur doesn't even have enough dance partners to even do anything close to what Floyd did. I mean, it was just Floyd came along at a great time in boxing where you had a lot of Hall of Famers. You had guys like Kodos who had their own fan bases. You had guys like Shane Mosley who had a good fan base. You had tough, rugged veterans like Chop Chop Corley, guys that he fought, Sean Bay Mitchells, freaking Jesse James Lahar. Floyd Mayweather put a lot of work in before he became, the money man. Then you had guys like Ricky Hatton, Manny Pacquiao. You had guys with whole countries behind them.
Yeah,
So Floyd was fighting people with huge fan bases that was bringing a lot to the table. And Floyd he's gonna 90-10 you anyway. He gonna get 50, you gonna get 3 million. You know what I'm saying? You gonna take it or leave it. And it is what it is, man. Because that's Floyd. I don't know that Floyd was very, he was charismatic. He did Dancing with the Stars. He did, a lot of different things. WWE. He promoted himself. Floyd never really done interviews with Brian Kenny. He conducted himself very well when he talked to the public, and a lot of people forget that about Floyd, man. He never really came out and really act, ignorant, on camera. He was always, saying the right thing, or always, stirring the pot or doing some type of controversial thing, but it was good for his brand. So I don't think anybody. Plus, not only that, I mean, if with the streaming, the way people streaming right now, man, that pay-per-view stuff. Man, ain't nobody paying for these fights, man. I mean, yeah, you know, nobody's paying for them. You got to stream each. You want to see something. I mean, why buy a ticket when you can just watch a fight for free? Nobody's paying for this stuff anymore. Stuff is too high right now. I mean, you got gas is like $4 or $5 a gallon. You got, you know, orange juices $9 a gallon. People don't have a disposable income right now. But a lot of times that's why they're not going to these fights. They can't afford to. You know, they trying to pay bills and stuff. They ain't worried about, you know, some entertainment. You just catch it for free, or somebody putting you know, you can have a pay-per-view fight and somebody be showing it on YouTube, or somebody be streaming it on Facebook Live or something. So why you gonna pay for it? So that's what's hurting the pay-per-view model, if anything. I mean, look how many people stream Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder's fight. I mean, like 20 or 30 million people stream that fight.
Yeah, but they still had enough people to watch for them to get some pretty good
Right,
payday.
Yeah, I
right.
know, but I'm saying though, but look how many people didn't pay for the fight. You know,
Yeah,
and that's
but
the same
people
thing. You
that
know,
didn't, I'm just worried about the people that did because they got them paid.
Right.
Hey, paid in full. You reading the screen?
Yeah, I'm reading this. I wanted to say this. I wanted to let Coach Eddie finish. Tony Reviews, you can believe that they paying
Yeah.
$200 million for this fight if you want to, bro.
You got that from Google, bro.
No, that's just the first thing that comes up. You can go listen to Turkey. Turkey's already said Canelo's making 150 million and Terrence Crawford's making 50 million. They're literally on record with the purses.
Bro, we gotta wait till the person
He
come
been
out
said
though,
that.
bro. Just cause
We
you
don't have
say
to
that
wait for
don't.
nothing. Netflix bought
Bro,
this
Turkey
damn
done
thing.
lied about a lot of shit, bro. Stop making that like seem like his words just bond, bro. That nigga done came out and lied before.
I mean, but if somebody think Terrence Crawford getting $10 million for this fight, I think that's a pretty sad
We don't
assessment.
know what he getting
That's what
paid
he
The
because the
man,
said.
the
person
man,
can
well, you
He
know, I
said
I
mean,
don't give a
if y'all want to
fuck
believe
what
that,
he
that's
getting
fine,
paid.
man. But
Man, we
the
hold
man,
on,
the man
hold
getting
on.
more.
Let me
Nobody
say this.
care, man.
Hold on.
Yeah.
First of all, he's the one that said he's getting 10 million. If he is, he is. If he ain't, he ain't. But I'm
right.
also not gonna believe he's getting 50 million either. I'm not gonna believe that
Well,
either.
I
You
mean,
can
they
understand
hold on one
Netflix.
second, Tony, real quick. I mean, they said that Daniel Dubois is getting 71 million, and Alexander Usyk is getting 132 million. So I
What we
mean,
do
For one
all
Oh
fight,
say
man,
versus.
come
for
on.
one fight, bro. Listen. This is billions of dollars y'all talking about. This man is spending. Like, if y'all calculate all this stuff up, like it's ridiculous. It
how
doesn't
much
even
money did
make
Tyson
any
Fury
sense,
make his
y'all.
last fight? How much money
I
did
don't
Tyson
know
Fury
some
Alexander
crazy
Usyk fight
numbers they
make?
saying they making, but
I mean, it's on the
if they
they on the Forbes list. You know what I'm saying?
Coach Eddie, the fact of the matter is this. It's ridiculous to think that they're not making this. Netflix literally bought this, the biggest
no,
streaming.
Netflix did not.
They did
Turkey is
not
It
buy
is
it.
paying
What are
to
you
being
have it
streamed
talking
on
on
about?
Netflix.
Netflix. Yes, it
Turkey
is.
said himself he's financing it all. He's paying them to stream it. They're not paying for it.
Exactly, bro. What are you talking about, Tony?
Netflix is the biggest streaming site. If you
That's not
think
the biggest streaming site, though, bro. What are you
what's bigger than
talking about?
Netflix?
Amazon Prime. What are you talking about, bro?
Amazon Prime.
What are you talking
We about
about?
to fact check
Ain't
that.
nobody streaming no fucking
Yeah, look
Amazon
it up.
Prime to watch shit.
Google it, Tony. See who got the bigger streaming service. But it's not like they got a contract with Netflix and Netflix gave them this money. No, Turkey paying Netflix to have the fight on there. Netflix is not doing anything. He said in the
Netflix is
press
the
conference,
world's
he
largest
said,
global
hold on, Tony,
subscription
hold on,
base.
Tony. He said, I financed this all myself. Go back and watch the Terrence Crawford press conference. He made sure everybody knew that he paid for everything.
Netflix, the largest service in the world, with a global subscription base of 269.6 million as of March 34th or 31st, 2024. Netflix is the largest streaming site in the world.
And it's been that way since they had Squid Games. I'm gonna just tell you that. It's probably bounced back and forth, but it's been like that for a while. Tony, you up here cooking, my nigga. That nigga Tony up
So,
here cooking.
but Netflix didn't buy
Is
the
he?
fight though. They're not putting on the fight.
Yes, they
I mean,
are
they're
putting on
not.
the fight. It's literally on
They're
Netflix.
showing the fight. I'm saying they're not putting it
Oh
on
my
as if they
goodness.
financed it. They didn't finance it. Turkey financed everything and paid for it to be able to be shown on Netflix. David, what's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Well, I got you know what? I saw something that was interesting today. Flicking through um Facebook, a couple of boxing sites, and I was wondering if this is true that Keyshawn Davis has put himself in a hard spot, whereas though he already got stripped of his belt. And I think it alluded to the fact that Top Rank may be dropping him.
Mm.
And I was wondering, is that true? You know what I mean?
Um,
It was like
I
interesting.
haven't heard that, but
Yeah, me
I
either.
do know he is. Isn't he a like a ring ambassador or no?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's a ring ambassador. Yeah,
Maybe he tried to get dropped. I don't know.
yeah. That
That is
kind
crazy.
of what makes sense
Look,
to me.
I don't
Cause
mean to be rude. I
I'm
don't mean to be
seeing, I'm
I don't mean to
seeing,
be rude. I don't mean to be rude or sound like a know-it-all, but literally, I'm looking at every damn website from Yahoo Sports, etc., saying that Netflix bought the rights to the Canelo Terrence Crawford fight. It
um,
literally says it in every damn
yo,
page.
how you just
I'm
gonna
just
jump
telling you
over
what
what we
Turkey said,
talking
bro.
about? They talk about what you just finished talking about. Yo, what the fuck?
That's
Yo,
literally what I was talking about when I was on.
we was talking about Keyshawn and what's going on. And if it's true, he's about to get dropped from Top Rank. We
Has
had
anybody
already
heard
went
that in the
on.
chat?
What the?
I haven't
OG,
heard that, David. I haven't heard
OG
that.
is he?
Yeah,
Hey,
that's
David,
what
is
I
he from
was
Baltimore?
wondering. Yeah.
I could tell by the accent.
Mhm, mhm.
All right. Band up. What's
All
your two
right.
cents? What you got for the show?
Salute Nickel Slick, man. I heard my guy up here, Tony up here cooking, man. So you know I had to hop up here. Speaking of that, hey, I've been meaning to tell you this for like 2 weeks. Check your Instagram. I've been trying to send you something.
Oh, I don't check my IG. Let me check.
Yeah, your boy Bando got some stuff to send you.
All right. What you got for the show?
Oh, I'm just tapping in. I'll let my 2 cents in when I hear it. But I heard my man Tony up here cooking, and I
I ain't
thought you
got no
guys were.
messages from you.
Yeah, it's oh my goodness, I'm looking dead
Oh, I
at it.
see it. I see it. I see it. I see it.
I'm
I
like,
see
what
it.
you talking about, girl?
Okay. Okay.
Yep, I'm gonna send you some stuff. I got some stuff to send you.
All right. Mr. Greg, what's your two cents? What you got for the show?
Good evening. I heard y'all talking in comparison of how Shakur fights in comparison to Mayweather. There is a lot of differences in why it worked for Mayweather and why nothing is right now is working for Shakur. Mayweather actually created a character, Money Mayweather. He made people resent it and want to see him lose.
Uh-huh.
He also created. Now Mayweather's responsible for 24/7. You
Mm.
remember he created,
Yup.
and HBO brilliantly filmed it and put it on in the right way. So it was a package deal, just like when they say you need a team of people to do different things. Mayweather did
Yeah.
that very well in the marketing and the branding of who he was. That's what made people watch Mayweather as well. And the fact that he told them, "You're not going to beat me. It's easy work." He did all of those kinds of things that were strategically placed in front of people to compel them to watch, whether they enjoyed and appreciated his boxing style, his skill set, or they just wanted to see him get beat to shut him up. But it was purposely done. It was brilliantly done, to be quite honest. Nobody had done. He became a villain, just like in WWE or wrestling, where there's a villain that's so popular you still want to watch him whether you like him or not. Mayweather did.
Uh-huh.
Secure is a very gifted boxer, but there's nothing compelling about him to make you want to watch him. You complain about him more than anything else, but you don't want to watch him. Now, and the boxing landscape is different now because they're streaming, the pay-per-view model is dying out, et cetera, et cetera. But what the day's fighters have to do. They want to be like Mayweather in terms of getting paid, but they're not doing all the other things that Mayweather did to get himself paid. And that's where the big difference is. Uh, Mayweather uh, is a different breed. They are not. They want to hurry up and get positioned and get paid. So the fights that I'm going to say Cepeda, that Secure has coming up, he has to do something where he's entertaining. Mayweather was
Mhm.
entertaining. Sometimes he would stop in the, well, I shouldn't say stop, but while he was fighting, he would say something to his opponent's corner. All of those little small subtle things
Yep.
made it interesting to watch, whether it made you mad or it made you laugh, it made you happy. This talking back and forth that they do on the internet doesn't really get it done. It has to be a great performance in the ring, even if you're not a power puncher, even if you're a pillow fisted puncher, if you want to say that. You have to be able to also engage and be entertaining to blend it into whatever style that you fight. You have to make it watchable, that people want to see it. And that's where they're failing at, in my opinion. They're failing at doing that thing. They don't understand this is still entertainment. And now it's a new, different landscape out for boxing. You're not seeing the knockdown, drag out fights. You're not seeing a lot of engagements that you used to see in an earlier group of fighters. Now everybody just wants to be in the fight, get some money as fast as they can, do the least amount of work. Where, in my opinion, they got to do a lot more work in making their fights interesting, and that's what they're failing to do. I mean, the fathers, for all practical purposes, even though they're messing up some of these sons' careers, are making you pay attention to them, but not pay attention to their sons. So if the doing that, that would make it a whole lot better for them. And I hope somebody gets some marketing behind them, get some good marketing people to tell them, listen, this is what we need to do to make your fights entertaining, because this is what it is. It's boxing entertainment. We want to see a little bit of blood and guts. I don't want to see anybody get killed in the ring, but I don't want to see someone not engaged, because what is going to happen, I think, with this smaller ring for guys who like to move around, who don't like to engage, what it probably will cause, in my opinion, is guys to hold a lot more because they can't move around. Now, I hope I'm wrong, but I think that's what would happen. So I landed there.
Robert Pitts, what's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Yeah, what's up, everybody? I want to touch on the Stevenson thing once again. Stevenson and Floyd are not the same comparison, bro. Like people say, like I heard somebody say that they were saying Floyd was boring and all that. Floyd was not boring for real though. That's just what they were saying. Gotti was an exciting fight. Zab Judah was an exciting fight, and Floyd was making big paydays before he fought Oscar. Floyd was making like $8 million fighting Zab Judah and Gotti. He was making a lot of money back then. You know what I'm saying? Even though he wasn't never. And Floyd, the thing about these fighters, like Greg say, they want to be Floyd. They want to be Money Mayweather without doing the pretty boy Floyd thing. You feel me? Which is, see the thing about these fighters. See the thing about Haney and Shakur. The only way they're going to get to the top is by fighting Tank. Tank is the fighter they need to fight, and they refusing to do it. They're trying to buy time out of fighting. No, see that's the difference between Floyd. Floyd would have fought. Floyd would have fought Tank, like because Floyd know that fight gonna take him to another level. Plus Floyd got a personality and everything to go with it. Floyd knew how to sell itself, and these fighters they think they got delusions of grandeur. They think they gonna get to the level of Floyd without actually putting in the work that Floyd put in. You feel me? Like you can't, you know what I'm saying? Like you gotta be, you gotta like certain like I said, Shakur Stevenson is not a knockout artist. But let's be real, Shakur Stevenson should have stopped some of the fighters that he did fight. Like that one dude that he fought where they booed him and I forgot the name of him because I'm driving but he should have stopped dude. Dude couldn't do nothing, stop dude. And the reason why he should have went after dude, let his hands go and stop them is because that's important for your brand. That's important for your brand. Right. You know what I'm saying? You also building up your resume, but you need to build up your brand as well. You needed to be known that, yeah, I might not be the biggest knockout artist, but if certain fighters get in here with me, I'm stopping. You feel what I'm saying? Yeah, I might not stop Tank. But this low tier dude ain't going the distance with me. They're going to at least throw in the towel or something. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's what he's doing. He's getting in there with low tier fighters and barely even letting his hands go. Like, dude, let your hands go. This dude can't do nothing. Beat him up, make his corner throw in the towel. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. Like, they not, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's frustrating, man. And it's like I said, and I want to touch on Terrence Crawford too. That's why Terrence Crawford never became a star.
Because, like I said, I gave Terrence Crawford the benefit of the doubt when he was at 135 and 140, even though I didn't think Terrence Crawford was fighting a lot of good people at the weight classes. But then I said, I'm going to wait and see what happened when he get to 147. When Terrence Crawford got to 147 and signed back with Top Rank, that's when I lost all respect for Terrence Crawford. Because I believe Terrence Crawford was ducking once he did it. Because it's always a pivotal moment in a boxer's career where they can take their career to another level. Terrence Crawford could have took his career to another level a long time ago if he would have left Top Rank when he got to 147 and went and got in the mix with Thurman and all of it. He didn't do that. He won an easy belt against Horn and then sat around defending it, playing that, I call it the ducking narrative that Top Rank always play and people fall for it, where they act like they can't make fights with on the other side, but they really not even trying to make them at all. They just keep holding on to a belt and having their opponents fight weak opponents, acting like they scared of them fighters. Well, nobody scared of Terrence Crawford. He was just over there holding on to that one belt, fighting low tier opponents, and that's why his career never went to the next level. You feel me? And that's all I got to say. I'm out.
Rock, are you about to leave?
Yeah. I'm finished with what I'm saying. Yep.
I had a question for you. Do you think that, because I say all the time, when he re-signed to Top Rank at 47, I think that split his fan base, Terrence Crawford's fan base. Do you think that, would you compare Shakur Stevenson going to Eddie Hearn kind of with Terrence Crawford re-signing the Top Rank?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's similar. That's
It's
definitely
like the
similar because
same play, right? That's like the same
yep,
play.
it's similar. It's
Yep.
definitely similar because
Because it's
Tank.
a lot of
Oh,
smoke at 35 at Top Rank. It's a lot of
Do
smoke at
that.
35 at Top Rank. It's a ton of fights Shakur Stevenson would have been able to make at Top Rank. But
Or
I
he
mean,
the PBC because the PBC or Top Rank and
the PBC
PBC.
didn't want him. The PBC didn't want to sign him.
Well, they only wanted him for that one fight, but
But that's what I'm saying. So what else could he have done? I guess he could have went to Oscar, but who Oscar got for him to fight? More people, I guess, than Eddie Hearn. But the panel open. I just want to ask Robert that because
another thing I was
yeah.
gonna
Now
I got a
I'll
question for
answer it.
Robert. I got a
let me
question, bro.
answer.
Because
Yep.
Let me just
yeah,
answer this question, then you go ahead, bro. So
Yeah,
another.
I was gonna answer.
Oh,
I
go
was
ahead,
gonna
go
answer
ahead,
a
bro.
question if I could.
Go
Okay,
ahead.
as far as her question, it's the same comparison because Terrence Crawford, because Shakur Stevenson, when they tried to get him a fight with Tank, he wanted to get a couple fights before fighting Tank. You just trying to buy time, bruh. If you really confident in your skills, just fight Tank. Instead, you want to buy time. Now I want a couple more fights. All you saying with your business play is that I'm not ready to fight Tank. And then that's my answer. Yep.
And he looked like shit in his last couple fights too. He looked like
Another
shit,
thing,
man.
another thing
so
though.
so I'm starting to think that maybe Shakur Stevenson asked to be with Turkey versus Turkey going to get asked and Shakur Stevenson because it's
Yeah,
just
because
He
he's not
did.
gonna get
I,
the
He
type
I,
of
did.
I
money he
think I
looking
think
for.
Terrence Crawford
Yeah,
had a lot to do with that. I think Terrence Crawford said, "This is my little
Yeah,
brother. I need you to
yeah,
look out for him."
yep.
yeah.
hold on, y'all.
That's
Let
the
me
only
make this
reason why he made
announcement.
that
Hey,
move.
y'all be sure to help support the channel, man. Hit the Cash App at 2 cents boxing, or you can leave your 2 cents in the super chat. Y'all got to make sure to help support the channel. All donations go to improving the audio and video quality of the channel. It is not free to run a YouTube channel. The things you send, microphone, StreamYard, all of that stuff come with expenses. So if y'all enjoy the show, let me know how good of a job I'm doing by dropping your 2 cents in the chat or hitting the Cash App at 2 cents boxing. Be sure to call in at 281-845-2103. It's 2 cents after dark. All right, y'all go ahead.
So I was gonna say with Floyd Schofield Sr., bro, that is a lion ass individual, bro. For one, anybody that knows anybody, them text messages that he had, bro, I don't believe that for 1 second, because anybody know that they can go online right now or go to their app store and create a fucking or create a text number that you could text somebody from a different phone, or from your same phone. You could text a number and act like you're somebody that you act like you somebody that you ain't. So he put out them text messages or whatever, but them text messages really wasn't even showing nothing. Why would somebody say, "Please don't expose me"?
That's my question though, right? Why is he lying so hard? Like I can't understand. Like if you're not telling the truth, why are you lying so hard? The situation over with. Kid Austin that had another fight. He had a spectacular knockout. Everybody talking about him. They want to see him in a ring with the best of the. Like, why are you lying so hard and still talking about this? Like, that's what I can't understand. You get what I'm
And
saying?
then
Like, why are you still doing this?
And then another thing he did was when he lied about the Abdullah Mason shit up until the point where they exposed that situation because he kept on saying we beat up Mason or whatever, we did this and that to him. But then when the footage dropped, you talking about they trying to steal y'all shine. But you was the one that was running around here talking about them, talking about how you when and then they sent you an offer for $1 million. You talking about you turned that down because uh that you said that Oscar offered you 5 million for 5 years. But my thing is this: that was another pivotal moment with Kid Austin. You fight Abdullah Mason, now you skyrocket your career. If you beat him, your career could skyrocket.
Shout out Rachel Donaire in the building. Yes, Rachel, I do a 2 cents after dark show on Tuesdays. So if you ever up late, I start the show at 10:30. You can come check us out every Tuesday at 10:30. Shout out Rachel Donaire in the building.
So
But this
yeah,
is
I
great.
just don't believe shit dog be saying, bro.
Why?
Like he
Oh,
be clout chasing a lot
but why is he lying so hard though? Like
to
I don't
protect
understand.
his
Like what is
image.
his agenda? But we already passed that. You the one that keep bringing it up. We're already past that. You know what I'm saying? Like people, they're not over it, but we passed it. We passed it. Why are you keep rehashing it? You make it like why are you making yourself look even worse? That's what I'm not like. If it's not true, why do you keep bringing it up and talking about it? I don't understand that.
Cause you trying to make his fan base believe what the fuck he's saying to make them, I guess, to keep them around. Because motherfuckers, man, people ain't really fucking with that shit he be doing, bro.
Yeah. Ain't
Hey,
nobody paying attention now. You just looking
I got
crazy.
a
Go ahead,
question for
Bando.
Robert.
So,
Hey,
yeah,
yo,
yeah, I'm
game.
listening.
Yeah, yo, game. You were saying that Bud shouldn't have resigned and all that other stuff, and how you think his fan base was split. I got a couple questions. One,
Now she said that she 2 cents said that, but yeah.
on two
This
cents
ain't
at
a
that
bud.
part.
This ain't a bud buddy conversation, but ask your
I just got
question.
a question for bro. Well, really, it's a two part. So if him and EJ was brewing for 5 years, right? Okay, you know what I mean. So they was always set to fight each other, and if the cats that EJ ended up beating on his way up weren't really that damn good, or whatever the case may be, or whatever the hell you guys want to say, because you see what he did to him, you see what you know what I mean happened to the person that beat their ass. So we gonna say they weren't that damn good, whether Bud
That
fought
does
him or
not mean
EJ.
that,
That's
Bando.
not
You
true,
cannot
bro.
do that, bro.
Time
Stop
out.
it.
Hold on. You want to know why
You
you
know you
can?
can't do
Because
that.
Danny Garcia's ass was fucking falling over his damn feet in
Bro,
that
that's the
fight with EJ.
triangle theory, though, bro. You
Bro,
can't
we're
say
not
that.
gonna sit here and say a nigga that's falling over his own feet was gonna do any better with Terrence than what he did with Arrow. I'm not hearing that shit. I'm
But
not
that's
hearing it.
no different than David little brother or whatever, the nigga that got shot in the fucking leg. We could say the same shit.
Benavidez. Jose
Yeah, like
Benavidez.
come
Exactly,
on,
You can
bro.
say that.
exactly,
You can
This
say the
nigga
same
was in
thing.
there with
exactly,
a
bro.
fucking knee brace on.
Hold on, band up. Shout out to Rich on the panel.
Hey,
Too
what's
Rich,
going on, P Cent?
what you got for the show?
All right, man. Give me a minute to get this out, man. 'Cause I know sometimes when I start talking, people start feeling like knives sticking them in the side and shit. But what you were saying earlier, which I salute you and your stance that you taking, because I could tell you kind of see what's going on. But if you look at what Turkey's saying or how he's trolling Shakur, he only echoing what we can go to YouTube and look up every popular boxing channel. That's what everybody says about Shakur, about the Devins. All you hear is them trashing our best fighters. Now I get it; they doing it for fan base banging, and in America, Americans are fighter fans. They're not boxing fans; they're fighter fans. So we have all these discussions all the time, and we tend to trash some of our best fighters, and then when we hear it come back to us, we're offended now. I mean, that's what we told them. They're following our lead. I always say there's only one YouTube. They are watching, they are listening, and you have a responsibility of what you're saying and how you're telling the people to view your own fighters. So you can't get mad at Turkey trashing or trolling when they all it.
the boxing channels do. They don't talk jabs, they don't talk right hooks, they don't talk crosses, they talk boxing politics. That's all ticket sales. We treat boxers like rappers. You see what I mean? Instead of looking at the fights. So they're just echoing the sentiment that YouTube creators and the YouTube community, boxing community, is putting out there. So in some ways, we gotta blame ourselves with how we cover the sport. Look at what we talk about. All we do is trash anybody outside of the PBC. Everybody else is trash. You know what I mean? And I get it from a fan base. Okay, I understand. But when we hear it come back to us, we can't be offended.
I
You
agree with
done?
that.
I'm
Yeah,
about
for
to
You
now.
hop
done, Too
off.
Rich? Hold on. All right, Tony.
Yeah, two cents. I don't know if you saw it, but I put in the share screen where it says blatantly that Netflix
Man,
paid for the rights,
Yeah,
and
I
it's
put it
all
in
over
the chat
every.
too. I put it in
It's
Jody,
chat
not
too.
true. It's also over. It's on every
I'm just
sports
telling you
website
what
that
Turkey
Netflix
said
bought the
at the
rights.
press conference. This is what he said. He said
My
he
God,
paid for
Tony,
Well,
everything. I'm just telling you
I'm
what he
telling
said.
you what is actually on every website. Netflix bought the rights. Like they bought the rights to the Serrano
Oh
Katie
boy.
Taylor 3 fight. They bought the rights. It is what it
Okay.
is.
It is what
Um,
it is.
Crawford and Canelo about to make huge paydays. And my only point is that fight was supposed to be Earl Spence. If he would have beat Crawford, they were already talking about him fighting Canelo. But
come on,
because he lost, Crawford got the fight.
come on.
And that's just it is
That
that's
is
the
not
nature of
how that
boxing.
That's not true
that's
though.
not how that happened, y'all. But okay.
Bullshit. Hey, I wouldn't. I
Nah,
can't. I
they were
cannot. I
talking about
can't
fighting at a
imagine
That
that
is
catchweight
the
at
being
history of boxing.
Nobody
164.
ever
Exactly,
said that.
exactly.
Nobody never
Exactly.
even. Bud was the motherfucker that said that he didn't even know that he was gonna fight
My
Canelo
guy,
because the
Coach
simple
Eddie,
fact
man.
it was weight classes
All right,
for a
hold on. Let
reason.
me
Oh
respond
my
to Rich
goodness.
real quick. Shout out Tony. Tony, you about to go to the gym, Tony?
No, I'm going to bed. I'm out.
Yeah,
Oh,
he out because I
shout out
pulled up.
Tony.
That's why.
You don't scare nobody.
Why you get off the panel now?
I said before you even got up here, I was getting off.
Yeah.
My nigga
You don't do
Supreme.
nothing but speak in factual facts.
Yeah.
Hey, we keep
But
talking about this
let me
smoking gun.
respond to Too Rich, right? Because it be a lot of virtual signaling going on in these YouTube streets. Let me say this, right? You running a whole promotional company, you got fighters, you got all this. You think Bob Arum sitting on YouTube listening to what we saying? You think
Yeah,
Al Heyman sitting on YouTube listening to what we saying and going back and repeating it and doing this and making this? No, that's not how this works, y'all. We
yeah,
are
that's exactly
fans.
how it works.
We no,
That's
hold
exactly
on.
how
We
it
are
works.
fans. Hold on, don't cut me off. We are fans. We got platforms and we got YouTube pages that and platforms where we can talk about whatever the hell we want to talk about on them.
Facts.
Period. And a lot of time, all this crying and whining y'all doing about the hating is just people's opinions about fighters that y'all don't like. Do channels be hating and doing this? Of course they do, but that's their platform. They can do whatever they want on their platform. I don't know what y'all want people to say about fighters. Am I trashing a fighter because I think they not good, or if I think this fighter can beat this fighter? Am I trashing them? No, that's just my opinion. So I don't want to hear this. Oh, we got the creators. No, it's Turkey. Where is this man's accountability that y'all continuously keep trying to take away and blame on YouTube content creators? I don't understand that. This man is paying $200 million purses, and you talking about him looking at stuff and repeating stuff people saying on YouTube? That don't make sense, Rich. It don't make sense.
Okay,
I
but
don't, I don't
Turkey.
care. I don't
Okay.
care if the consensus is that Shakur Stevenson is a runner. It's not for you to go back and shrink the ring and call him, control him about Tom and Jerry and all that. That's not what Turkey's supposed to be doing, bro. That's not his place.
Facts.
Okay, well, let me give you some more facts. Ryan Garcia whole value was contrived based on social media. His whole value, he sold nothing in boxing. Facts. He sold nothing in boxing. Did nothing.
So
He
was
was getting
Jake
two.
Paul.
He
What's
was
your
getting
point?
hold on. He was getting 250,000 a fight. And
Jake
because some
Paul was
perceived
too.
value on social media, y'all made him a star that he never still to this day ain't lived up to.
What
No,
about
You see
Jake
what I
no,
Paul?
mean?
Jake
All that
So
Paul
too
came
doing
rich.
from
Nah, I ain't
social
gonna
Too
lie.
rich.
media.
That's
no,
cap,
Too
bro.
rich. Hold on,
That's
too
cap.
rich.
That's
Because
not.
you're conflating two things. Ryan Garcia had a following, bro. That ain't got nothing to do with talking about boxing on a YouTube platform. It's two completely different
What I'm
things.
saying, his following and his social media presence, it was directly related to the money that he got. So if you're saying they're not watching social media, that's wrong. Clearly, that's very wrong. That's very
But
Yeah,
wrong. They are.
cause
That's
he
they
exactly what
watching
they're doing.
Taco Head.
Bro.
Taco Head. They
don't
watching
got
Taco Head. That
he
fool
ain't
got a
shot
deal.
in the
He got a
box, bro.
deal with the
Exactly.
So
Zones. They
y'all
watching
telling
Exactly.
me
somebody.
y'all
Female
telling
fan
me
base though,
Turkey
bro.
is trolling Shakur Stevenson because of YouTube content creators?
That
Yeah,
nigga
I'm
ain't
saying
shot a
they're
shoe in the
saying what
box,
we
bro.
say about the fighters because we're the fans. They're
But
Now I
listening to
that's
what the
disagree.
dumb,
fans say, and
You know
that's
what
what
it
and that
that's
is
what they're
dumb,
giving you back.
you
and
know
that's
where the
not his
turkey
place
hate
to
came
do
from?
that to Rich.
In
That's
my
what I'm trying
opinion,
to tell you. Go ahead, Big Supreme.
I feel like the turkey hate, as far as like going against Shakur, came when Shakur went on Twitter and went at him sideways. I don't know if y'all remember when he was trying to get the fight made
Yeah,
with Oscar and Zepeda,
Oh
and then he
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
called he,
yeah.
he
I
I
called
remember
forgot
that.
about
everybody
that.
Turkey's towel
Towel
boys,
head.
and he's not gonna bow down
Towel
to them.
head.
And then he
Yeah, he's calling.
apologized. If we know
Oh,
Turkey, right?
Mm-hmm.
Turkey's
forgot
extremely
about that.
sensitive. So there's one thing I remember about Turkey that lets me know what his personality's like. I don't know if y'all remember when him and Jake Donovan was going back and forth.
Yep.
All right, so he told Jake
Mm-hmm.
Donovan, "I'm gonna like buy your publication. I'm gonna fire you." That's what he said.
See,
A couple months later, he
Damn.
buys the Ring magazine. So
this
Jake
nigga
Donovan, they apologized, they made nice in public, but his personality to me is like, all right, if I don't get my way, I'm just gonna throw my money around till I get what I want.
Yep.
Shakur went on Twitter and said, "Look, I'm not gonna bow down to you. I'm not your tower boy. You're gonna make the fight or not." Turkey obviously didn't like the response, so I felt like him trolling Shakur is because he felt like Shakur came at him sideways. That's what I think, at least in my
Yep.
opinion. I feel that's where it's coming
I,
from.
you
I
know
don't
what,
think
Big
it's.
Supreme? I forgot all about that because I was just like, what is going on? I forgot that he.
I just think Turkey's petty. I just think that
And
if you
Or
came
them
on him
niggas,
sideways, then he's gonna like hold a grudge against you. We've seen him
or
do that with
or
multiple
Big
fights.
Supreme, them niggas probably in cahoots because right after that, you saw the nigga taking a picture with Shakur.
I think it's because he got to
mm-hmm.
do it.
And he up there talking about I'm gonna beat Jared Tom ass. What did he write? He wrote something about how he gonna beat Tom and this and that. And I'm like, I get your response, Shakur, but I just feel like you responding in a way where you can't really respond how you want to. Cause you sit here keep coming at me with this Tom and Jerry stuff. I'll be like, man, you better shut up talking to me with that. Shout out Mr. Greg with the $5 in the super chat. He says the first lady in these boxing platform streets should always be supported by all the players on the panel. Shout out Mr. Greg.
Let me also say
I'm gonna give you
something.
flowers real quick. I'm surprised too, since you already got 10,000 plus.
Me too. Why you say
It's
that?
coming.
On the way, on the way.
Because
Let me say
you're
this.
really good.
you get mine yet?
Let me say this about what you're saying about social media and these promoters. Yes, they are paying attention to social media big time. Social media has become the dominant force in entertainment across all platforms, across all spheres.
Uh-huh.
So they are paying attention to what's being said. Whether they adhere to it immediately or not, it's another story because they do have teams of people who are probably, or one person that are watching to see what's being said, because you do have to try to
Facts.
control what's going on out here amongst the paying fans. So yeah, they are paying attention, and it is affecting their decisions to some degree. So you have to keep that in mind. That you just can't say whatever it is that you're going to say. It has to. If it's positive, they're going to highlight it. If it's negative, they're going to find a way to downplay it, especially if it gets traction. Everybody wants to have a viral moment, as you know, on YouTube, particularly the content creators. They want to have that moment that everybody hears about, everybody's talking about, and they want to have a little catchphrase they put out there. I mean, everybody's already saying what you said last week about sparring being practice. That's taking hold out there already. But I heard it first from you.
Right.
So those are the kinds of things that do affect what's going on. The other thing is the thing about Turkey and Netflix. Most promoters do try to get, and they do get site fees. It's almost impossible, in my opinion, unless you really want, I mean, throw away money. With Netflix having 300 million subscribers, I think that's correct. How
Yeah.
could you possibly pay for all of that and make any money on the fights you're putting out? Unless what has probably happened, and I don't know all the particulars, because I know Al was doing that when he was on some of the networks when he first started. They had a revenue sharing agreement. which is different than them paying a site fee or a rebroadcast fee.
Well, he definitely ain't doing that because he's not bringing in no revenue.
No, I understand that, but I have to say I don't think Turkey Al-Sheikh is paying to be on Netflix. That does it just he would just be completely throwing away money because there's no way to make that money back. So
well, he said
not
he spent $400 million on this Crawford Canelo
yeah,
fight.
he might have
what I don't know.
He might have been spending some money, but I guarantee you he's not paying to be on Netflix. It's just almost impossible to do, even with the money that he has. It would just be throwing away money. It doesn't make any sense. But I don't know all the business models. I mean, all the business plans and all the particulars. But I can see that as not being that doesn't make sense at all. Now, because he's not doing revenue sharing because it's not a network, it's a streaming service. But I know they got some kind of deal where he's trying to get some money back. You put some money up, you still have to expect to get some money back. How he's going to do it, I don't know what that deal is, but it certainly isn't him just paying for that, unless it was. And in this case, it probably isn't a revenue sharing agreement. Now on the excuse me, on the Netflix deal, is it up? Are you still paying even though you have Netflix for that particular fight? Because I know they've done that before.
Probably gonna be pay-per-view because this fight is pay-per-view. This Shakur Stevenson fight is pay-per-view.
There you go, right there. So it has to be revenue and sharing then. So that makes sense.
And I'm gonna read these super chats, but the pay-per-view thing, how many pay-per-views has Turkey had this year?
I don't know.
Because I didn't know the Shakur Stevenson fight was gonna be behind the paywall. And I'm starting to feel like damn near all the Turkey cards is starting to be pay-per-view. Or am I tripping? Shout out Boxing Hacker with the $5 in the super chat. He says Turkey is trolling Kerr on social media. Why wouldn't he listen to social media? I think it's more about showbiz petition. Bro got thousands of signatures. Shout out to Boxing Hacker.
I think he did two. I think he did two of them so far. I think he had the February 22nd card, and he had the New York card, and I think that was the last one.
And then now this one, this is gonna be the third one.
Yeah.
Where's the outrage? And it's $60.
It's $60 for what? Shakur fight?
What happened to the $25?
What happened to the $25? He's talking to bait and switch. Hold on, let me get these super chats. Shout out to Boxing Hacker with another $2 in the super chat. He says Jerry stay beating Tom for years. Let him stay mad. Shout out Boxing Hacker. And shout out to Ace So Stan with the $5 in the super chat. Says for support. Shout out to y'all for supporting the channel. Listen, y'all support is greatly appreciated. I'm on here chit chat with y'all for hours. How I know I'm doing a good job? The same way you know if a fight is doing a good job, people that's willing to punch that like and subscribe button and support you monetarily. That's how I know I'm doing a good job here on this channel. I don't got no turkey money. I don't got no guarantees. I'm on the pay-per-view model. So y'all be sure to help support the channel. But
let me say this. Like I say, in America, we're very divided amongst fighters and promotional companies. They're just the facts. You can just look at it, listen to every channel. It's not opinion. Listen to the boxing channels. We divided over the fighters and the promotional companies. So we're not coming
I'm better
together.
than what, dang father? Hold on, I'm better than what, dang father? Go ahead.
I'm saying we're not coming together as fight fans. So if it's the fighter that you don't like, if it's almost like you're gonna go see our fighter, and if it's a fighter that you like, okay, we're gonna go see our fighter. That's how we do it in America. I'm not saying whether it's right or wrong.
True, bro.
What I'm saying is, we done heard plenty of times Shakur tickets not selling. Hey, y'all not going to the Shakur fight. Y'all are Shakur fans. Y'all not going to the Shakur fight. You know, that's how it's presented in America. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying this is what it is. So when Turkey put on a card over here, right, we trying to figure out why they ain't going to the fights, why you know, whatever the case may be. So we have a misconception that these fights Turkey putting on ain't making no money. No, it's the American fight fans, because every fight Turkey done paid for in the UK got 80,000 people in the crowd, and y'all leave that out. Y'all leave that out. That every fight he put on in the UK got
That's cap,
80,000,
bro. See,
100,000. All of these
that's
people in the
cap.
crowd, y'all
Oh,
never
you
talk about it.
bugging.
Y'all
You
never talk
bugging,
about it.
bro.
All right, so since you want to bring up that point, then let's bring up Turkey complaining about illegal streams and not making money and losing 100 million on a Tyson Fury fight.
I'm not arguing that point. I'm just stating the fact. That's a fact too. We can't leave it out because if not, we're just
Rich,
gonna talk
too
about, oh
rich,
man, Turkey
too
losing all this
rich.
money.
I'm
He's
just
not
saying
losing
he's
all the
losing a
money.
lot of money,
He's
bro. He
losing
complained
money in
about losing 100
America.
million on one
Too
fight, bro.
rich.
Okay,
Let me
but I'm
ask you a
saying
question,
he's
bro. Too
losing that
rich,
money in America. He's not
too
losing
rich,
it in the UK. He's
That's
not
too
not
losing it
rich.
in the
Let me
true,
UK.
bro.
too rich.
I
Let
don't
me
know.
ask you a
100 million is a
question
lot of money,
because for
bro.
some reason you keep trying to act like it ain't Turkey fault he losing money, bro. Nobody else is
Okay.
complaining about
Hey, hold on.
when
You saying
other
you
people
just said
hold on,
you
time out, let me finish. Let me finish, bro. Because you keep saying when Turkey throw a fight in America, it's the Americans that listen. Turkey has to know how to promote a fight to get people to go. When Shakur Stevenson was on Top Rank, the Americans was going to see him fight.
Exactly, bro. Like you
When
bugging.
Shakur Stevenson was fighting in New York, New Jersey at Top Rank, the Americans was watching to see him go. You have to ask yourself, what is Turkey doing
I mean,
for people
that's his
not to want
hometown,
to
though.
go to his fight? He's in New York now. He's not too far from his hometown.
I mean, you put him in Las Vegas, is he going to sell out?
He's not in Vegas though, Coach Eddie.
I'm asking the question
Probably
because
the, you know
you put Tank anywhere, Tank's going to sell out anywhere.
Right.
but this is what I'm saying. He's not Tank. He's Shakur Stevenson. He's in an area where he previously sold tickets before. So why is he
But
not selling them now? That's what I'm asking. Hold on, we got Rachel Donaire on the panel. Shut off Rachel Donaire on the panel.
Hey, I don't know if I
What's going
clicked
on, Rachel?
late. Well, I don't know if I clicked late, but you guys were talking about like him complaining about like, the numbers in America. I mean, literally the last fight that he did in New York was closed off for his best friends.
Exactly.
So, how do you make a business model of I'm going to throw a private party and not allow other people to purchase tickets that wanted to purchase tickets? And in addition to the media people that you invited, you didn't even have seats for them. You sent them over to like some, I don't know, round the corner Irish pub to watch a stream. So, like, he's building his own demise and yet complaining that no one's watching it and no one's supporting, or he's losing money on these things when that card specifically had, good purses on it, at least from what I saw, good purses
Right.
on the card. And yet you didn't sell a damn ticket because you invited all your best friends. So I'm kind of confused about the complaint. If that was your model for being in, and I think that there would have been, first of all, people that would have paid, given that there were more seats, given that, all like this is something that's in Times Square, it's something that people would never be able to, it might never happen again, right? With all the logistical complaints that they had. So I do think that there, would have been people that are like, you know what, screw it. It's going to be the first and last time it's ever going to be here, and I want to be part of the event. But that wasn't even a conversation. And so for that, like, I just don't think that you can complain if this is what you set up. Why
Right.
are you throwing a tantrum that you lost money? You do have the model of a pay-per-view, and you have the model of the ticket sales and the merchandising and the drinks that people buy. All these things add in to your revenue when you're trying to calculate profit and loss. But if you wiped it all out, I mean, at least for, in person, and you're relying on just the pay-per-view model, then how are you complaining?
And you're overpaying fighters with big purses.
Yeah. Yep.
And so
So
because you're listening to people on YouTube and you think you can just throw big names on a card and people are gonna go because you're listening to casuals on YouTube. That's not how it works. That's not how it works.
well, Rachel,
Period.
can I ask you a question? How do you, being that you and Champ, been all over the world, how do you see the American fanfare versus other places? I won't just name a particular place, but just other places.
Um,
It just depends on who's fighting. I think that that's all over the world, 100%. I think that, listen, like as much as, you know, you have Edgar Berlanga on the card and Shakur Stevenson, like a lot of it does have to do with opponent. Like that, when I sit down and decide, because I live in Las Vegas, do I go to the fight? And I will tell you that we're comped, right? So I'm not even paying, but am I going to go to the fight? Is this worth my time? Right? So that's one fight. Like if I'm going to consider to go, the other one is, am I going to sit down at home and pay for it myself? Right? It's worth it, but it's not worth it for me to spend my time and effort to go. But I'll watch it at home. Then I'm just going to go to my friend's house who's throwing it because I don't even want to spend money for this. This is just, it's a bullshit card. And that happens all over the world when it comes to how the card is stacked. It's not just us, you know. It depends on who's fighting and the opponent and whether they think it's worth it to be there or not.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, that would make
Because that's what I've been. This is the thing, Rachel. I'm just trying to figure out what is it that's missing from the Turkey cards that's not drawing people's interest. And like you mentioned, the last New York card, it was in the middle of the street, nobody could watch it or go. So then now you got the Sherez Berlanga card. Do you think the fact that Shakur Stevenson is not the headline is really affecting the ticket sales? Like, what is it? Because Berlanga and Shakur Stevenson from that area, from my understanding.
I don't
Yeah,
think
and
it would have
I
made a
mean,
difference.
Shakur's
I don't
from
think.
New Jersey.
They
I
said
don't
it's
think it's
not far though,
necessarily
right?
that. I don't think it's necessarily that, like, okay, well, Shakur should have taken the headline versus Edgar. I think that it's the way that, first of all, I mean, even if Edgar was on the undercard, like Hamza is
The,
not really big here.
the
You know, like
promotion is trash too.
well, I mean, that's another one. How many people are going to go to back cards as well, right? Like, so you're looking at a card that you weren't invited to, or invited to throw and help out with, which is an amazing event. That's the first women's card ever, all women's card in New York. And then you're gonna the next day. Like, I don't know. I mean, as it is, we complain about how long that the turkey cards are. You know, you're sitting at your couch in Vegas. It's 9 a.m. to about 5 p.m. And you're going to do it again the next day. Well, not the next day, but basically you're going to watch, you know, the Katie Taylor Amanda from start to finish and then do the same thing tomorrow. Like most people in this economy isn't just willing to throw that kind of amount on parking, gas, and time to go be able to hit both. And they're going to make a decision. And I think that with Berlanga fighting Shiraz, I don't think that people really care about Shiraz. I think that Turkey does, but I don't think that people really give a shit about him here.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But
True, true.
it's not just him. I mean, you got to have anticipation for a card to be big. Like people anticipate tank fights because it's not so much the fight, it's the event. You know, celebrities are going to be there. You get to hang out. You get to put on your jewelry. You get to put on your furs. You get to put on your Sunday's best, and you get to go hang out. You get to go hang out with all the celebrities and rub shoulders. And that's what it is. I mean, same thing when Mayweather fought. You always seen the biggest stars. Or when Oscar De La Hoya fought, you always seen the biggest stars in the audience. You see Denzel Washington, you see Jack Nicklaus. Everybody who's was at their fights. So that's
Yeah.
why these guys are selling like that. And with these guys, like it doesn't matter. I mean, Shakur could have been the main event. It wouldn't have been a big draw either. It is
Well,
just
I
no
feel like this is a
anticipation.
fight people have. I feel like this is the one fight people have been anticipating from from Shakur Stevenson, in my opinion.
I
Zapata
mean,
and
but nobody knows who William Zapata is, but hardcore boxing fans. And
but
the
that's
casual
where
doesn't know who the casual doesn't know who William Zapata is.
but
well,
that's
maybe
where
his fan
promotion
base know
comes
who
in,
he is.
coach. That's where the promoter today's promoters aren't doing a great job of pushing and promoting these fights. The management, a lot of these new fighters aren't doing a great job of marketing and creating an image for these fighters either. So when you have an event, there are other elements that make it an event. And everybody seems to be falling down on their job and they expect the fans to still support. You don't put something on the shelf and just expect people to just walk by and buy it. You have to sell it. And that's true with any kind of sporting event. I mean, this could be a great fight card. But if don't nobody know, don't nobody care, you don't know enough about the fighters, you're not that interested in the fighters because there's been no work put behind them to make you care. We sit here and then well, why is this and why is that? And the reason why we do it, because those who supposed to make us care about the fights, who make us excited about the fights, in my opinion, aren't doing their job.
But let me ask you a
But
question. Do you think
also
that let me ask a question to the panel. Let me tell me what y'all think. Do you think that Turkey paying these fighters, everybody knowing they getting overpaid and all this, do you think that's disincentivizing the fans to support?
No,
Because
I'm
you don't
sorry.
think so?
I don't think it's disincentivizing. It's great. See, sir, I believe Turkey believes all he has to do is throw money at it and everything will happen. And he's finding that's not necessarily the case. The fighters, of course, are going to take the fight or take the money. They're supposed to. That well is going to run dry sooner or later. But you just can't throw money at something and everything magically happens in the way you want it to. There's still real work. You got to have experts in different parts of the fights, the promotion, the marketing, the site. You have, as Coach has been saying, and I say, you have to make it an event, but you also have to make the fighters compelling enough or interesting enough that you want to keep seeing them, even if you like them. We know who these guys are. But most of the money that gets generated in the game of sport of boxing doesn't come just from the hardcore fans. It comes from the casuals who hear enough about it that excited they want to go to this event. They want to be a part of it. It's something they don't do often. We can sit and analyze and look at fighters, and some of us has boxed at some point in our lives, so we understand a lot more than than the average fan would see. We can sit and say, why isn't he keep getting hit with that left hook? Why isn't he, we can see all of that because we know what we're looking at. Most fight fans just want to be there. The casuals want to be there for the excitement. And you have to create that. And that's where the disconnect is with Turkey. He's just throwing money at it and hope everything happens. I also think, and I land here, that one of the things that I thought about it, weren't he and the some other investors also trying to get the PGA Tour over there, and there was some controversy about that.
Yep.
And I do know they was trying to get NASCAR. So I kind of think one of the reasons why he's throwing all this money at these sporting events is to drive tourism.
Yep.
And that's I didn't think about that until just recently. But I think that's
that's just I mean, yeah, I guess they building some type of new little. I guess they about to try to make it look like Dubai over there in Saudi.
They trying to, because the oil money is only going to go so far. You got to have other revenue streams besides.
Well, tourism might not be a good one either, because I don't know who going over there to Saudi.
Well, yeah,
the climate, that ain't a place you want to mess around. The
climate in the world has changed up as well right now. So yeah, I was about to say that as well. You got to have the right climate, and right now it's getting a little crazy over there. That part of the world, period.
And if you go look at their agenda for Saudi Arabia, tell you pretty much why they doing what they doing.
But you can't
it's more so the fact that Turkey has being a fan of the sport was like, okay, like you said, throw money at it. But the thing is that one of the biggest issues within the sport of boxing that has been told within the last 5 years is that we have old people in our sport. And whether you fucking like it or not, Jake Paul knows how to capture the younger market. We have dinosaurs in the sport that is like, we're going to keep doing the same thing that we're always doing, and we're not going to do anything fucking different. And it's dying with them. And they're mad. I'm sorry, but they're mad at Jake. I mean, like, I saw something on my Instagram that I came across, and I tried to look for it again. It wasn't on Most Valuable Players. It might have been a Valuable Promotions. It might have been a Netflix promotion thing, but it literally had freaking Amanda Serrano and Katie Taylor with Uma Thurman and Charlize Theron promoting Old Guard too, right? So if you were like a Netflix person and you're following Netflix or you're following Uma Thurman, you're following, the Old Guard 2 like storyline and all this other stuff, you're seeing all these things and then it pops up on your Instagram, you're like, who are these two women? If you've never watched boxing, who are these two women that are facing off against freaking Kill Bill, Uma Thurman, and Charlize Theron? And what's the storyline? Is wait, hold on. Because I watched Old Guard 2, which just came out, it's suggesting Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano. Well, let me look at that. And that's the type of things that the old school were like, we don't need any cross promotion. Like, we're just going to sell the fight and they're going to watch the fight. It's old. It's an old story that is dying. And it's been dying. And they still haven't figured out that just throwing money at everything instead of actually thinking about the movement and the growth of how the fan base and how to open up the possibilities. That's why MVP is actually doing freaking better in promoting. And then you get the anger, of course. Yes, I understand. Jake Paul's not fighting anyone that blah, 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 blah. Doesn't matter. People fucking tuned in. That's the crazy part.
Mhm.
So
But
why
that's the
is
thing
it?
too. Uh-huh.
Yeah. No, well, why is it that Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez? And if you actually thought that this was really going to be a super competitive fight, then you haven't watched Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. since, way back in the day, right? But to complain about that and be like, well, why are people watching it? It's like, well, because he's marketed well. The amount of viral reels, his marketing team are on point and they're all young. I've met all of them. They're all young and they're quick as shit to put stuff out for viral content. And yet, again, we're sitting on what? Eddie Hearn? Frank Warren?
Yeah,
Top
Queen's
rank?
all the
Yep.
dinosaurs.
All those.
But
And that's
the
the
thing
thing too
about
I
it,
was gonna
100
say
years
about
ago, it's
MVP.
this box is
Hold on.
still going to carry on the same way.
Everybody, I think everybody likes MVP. I hear people complain about Jake and who he fighting, but I think a lot of people like MVP. I love MVP. I love what Jake Paul is doing with MVP. I love what Jake Paul is doing with the women's boxing. I love the way they promoted that Jake Paul Mike Tyson fight. Like, I love all the stuff that Jake Paul is doing. I'm like, Jake Paul is also new to boxing. He ain't making the same dumbass mistakes Turkey making.
Yeah, facts. Facts.
That is
And
so.
y'all want to keep giving Turkey a pass. Oh, he knew. Some of this stuff and some of these mistakes Turkey is making, he shouldn't be making. He's working with all of the promoters. You telling me he can't get no little nothing from them? Like, you know what I'm saying? Just the like putting a fight at a location that's hard to get to, or a tennis court, or in the middle of the street that can't nobody
Two
go
cents.
to.
It's not
Like,
even just about that. Like, okay, so there's that video game, right? Final Fury. It was
Fatal
Final
Fury.
Fury, right? Fatal Fury. Okay, Fatal
Uh-huh.
Fury. I think I was combining Final Fantasy and Fatal Fury, right? Like within, like if it at least within the U.S., right? That's not a game that these kids play today.
Yep.
That like you could bring nostalgia 100%. But when it comes to like, oh, you want to get in, like for example, my the boys go and play at Valhalla. Valhalla, they do like they do training camps on Minecraft. There's another one and Roblox, right? But they're not playing, Fatal Fury. So, like these partnerships and the way that he's promoting it for us, yeah, 100%. Like put Soul Calibur on it for God's sake. Street Fighter, I don't care. Like that's what we grew up with. But if you're really trying to make the sport continue to freaking have any longevity and not just die off, you have to be able to talk the younger generation's language and pull them into it. And yet it's the money is being spent on the wrong video game in my opinion. You should be
Right.
targeting the ones that are coming out. Or isn't GTA 6 coming out? Like
Yep.
get all
Supposed to
those
be.
guys.
Yeah.
That I think GTA 6 is more where you like, okay, well, so you have adults that'll spend money, but you're also going to have the younger teenagers that will follow you through and be able to hit the click the link and pay, within 4 to 5 years. So grab that demographic. But
Because that's
again,
the one that's gonna
it's
be this longevity because they're young,
I
so
don't
they're
think
gonna grow
he
with
pretty
it. They're
much
gonna
don't know,
be,
correct.
yeah.
but he don't know what he doing though. So
Hey,
He
Rachel.
don't know the people.
yeah,
Hey,
That's the
Rachel.
problem
Yeah.
with him in
What do you
America.
Turkey,
He
Hey,
don't
at
know
some
the
point in
culture of
time,
people.
the fighters gotta have some responsibility too. I
Turkey
mean,
may
if
they
give you
do.
a
you ain't no
call.
draw, you ain't
Well,
no draw.
that's why they
You
on
you
social media
you, you know what I'm saying? I
capping
mean, it's
and clout chasing.
But they
Rachel, I was going to
doing
say,
their job by getting in the ring fighting. But
Rachel, Turkey's going to give you a call.
this is what get them motherfuckers to get the
Turkey won't give me a call. I'm a female.
He might send you an email. He needs something from you. But
yeah, that
You're
nigga's
not gonna
fighting
call me.
female.
speaking about the money and what he's spending and all these promoters who could tell him something, I don't think they're going to tell him anything because they want to get his money and they get back to having their little fiefdoms again once that money is run out. That's how I'm seeing it. There's easy money for them. They'll play the game with them, it seems. But once that money is gone and supposedly he's supposed to be pulling out in 18 months,
Yeah.
why are they gonna school him?
I
They
think
gonna
it's a lot
get as much as they
shorter than that. Probably about a year, probably like 12 months, something like
whatever
that
amount
by
of time
now.
it is, they're gonna get the money that they can get from him. When he's gone, they'll go back running their little fiefdoms again
Oh,
until
they're going to join TKO Promotions.
First thing
Rachel, what do you think about the theory that Turkey is bottoming out the American market to get the fighters to sign with him and TKO and take lower purses?
I mean, like the thing with TKO and what their alleged contracting is for a fighter that really is like making nothing. You know, basically making what like $500-600 for a 4 rounder every 3-4 weeks kind of thing. Like the pay structure for that is good. Now, when it comes to like those weird caps that he has as far as like a world champion, like you're not gonna actually pull anyone for that. It's interesting to me that he has Dana there because there's been talks in Las Vegas. Some of these UFC fighters are like, oh, okay, Dana's in TKO. Well, maybe we can get a crossover boxing UFC, so then the UFC fighters can come into boxing. But that's been shut down. Like the talk is like that Dana's like, nope, you're over at UFC, and this boxing industry is something completely that has nothing to do with you, MMA fighters, and I will not allow it to cross over. Um, Bottoming out like what we're doing, I honestly don't think that Dana really wants to play in the sport as much as he seems like he does because of the fact that, we have more rules and regulations in boxing that wasn't able to be adopted into MMA. And the financials will be super exposed as to what he's doing. And if he
They're working
cannot
to change the Ali
sustain,
Act too, though.
which is
They're
why he's
working
trying
to
to get
get the
rid of
Ali
Ali.
Act changed, though.
I'm sorry, what?
They're working to
Yep,
get the Ali Act changed
Yeah, that's what he's pretty
exactly.
much trying to do.
Yeah,
That's why
that's what they're trying to do.
so that they can implement those things that they want to implement that they're not able to.
and that's why Dana really not really interested in the boxing shit because he want to get rid of that shit.
No, I agree. And I think that that's something that I know that we rarely ever come together as a boxing community because everyone always has their own agenda. And it's like, usually one guy has to stand up and fight. But I think that's definitely something that the boxing community together needs to come together and fight against that because someone coming in just with their own agenda shouldn't be able to change something that's been standing for years.
He got the money, though, Rachel.
I understand that. It still doesn't mean that it's right. And I think
No,
that,
absolutely not. Yeah, absolutely.
like the thing is that we can, the voices and what is, it should be and what it can be should be louder than what the hell he's doing. And if it comes down to even Turkey like leaving the sport of boxing in 12 months or 18 months, then how is Dana going to fund this, this promotion? The
Well, he's leaving
the
and focusing strictly on TKO, from my understanding.
so he's
So
focusing
I don't know if
on
he's
the
still. That's what he said. I don't know if he's still gonna be doing ring cards and like. I don't know exactly how it's gonna work, but he came out and said a while ago, like 18 months, I'm done. I'm only gonna be focusing on TKO after 18 months. So everybody's just assuming that after 18 months, he's only gonna be working with Dana and TKO.
Oh, so he's gonna pull out of everyone else's? You mean like
Yeah,
he's
Right.
not gonna?
Yeah.
yeah. He getting it right now.
Oh.
He getting his affairs in order.
Mhm.
Yeah, you say all the obligations will be done in 18 months.
I mean, so that basically just means that he's going to pull out his endorsements and sponsorships from every other promotional company and sanctioning bodies in itself. The problem that they're going to have is that, most of these guys already signed to a promotional company. So they're going to have to pay some type of money to have any opponents for the people that they're signed.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is going to be something that he's going to realize within the game when you start. Like right now, he's playing in the sand with everybody. But once you start trying to build your own sandcastle and you're not allowing everyone to play anymore, then they're not going to play with you. I mean, you basically. The, people looked at it as a blessing because of the fact that the promotional disputes before were always about money, always about rights, always about who gets to fight who and when rematches, all this other fun stuff. But because money wasn't an issue, everyone got along. When you take that away, then it's going to be it's going to be everyone for themselves again. And now you're in that pool of everyone for themselves. You want to run a fight card? Great. Okay, who are you going to put up against for your allegedly world champion that is a belt that's not actually recognized by anyone else? That's going to take longer than 18 months to establish it as a recognized belt that people actually, like respect.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
Yep. He
And
gotta.
that's
He
why I
gotta.
said that he was doing a lot of shit even with the WBC, with him disrespecting them like that by throwing that belt off the stage with Canelo and them.
Yep.
And the other promoters aren't telling them that. They're going to take the money that they're getting from him now. Now, when you come and try to do what he wants to do with TKO, then he's going to learn that now you just one of us now.
Oh
Oh,
yeah.
and he
Uh-huh.
just. Yeah, I don't know if y'all noticed, but he just partnered with CompuBox.
Oh
How about-
hell no.
What do
It's
you mean
going to
he
be.
partnered with CompuBox?
They
They
sponsored by
put
reality
something up.
season now.
Yeah, for the
It's
stats.
gonna be a
You know
whole
how
bunch
like
It's
he.
of fights,
Turkey buying up the block.
a bunch
it's
of
gonna be
boxers
it's
Mhm.
now.
gonna be so many fighters available that you still gonna be able to put on good fights because of the simple fact that there's not gonna be enough dates to go around. Like my old
But
boxing
he
trainer
not gonna
said,
pay
fight.
him though.
I mean, but it's either it's like okay, your next what's your alternative? Team Combat League or Pro Box? I mean, that's literally a guy that were fighting on Showtime and HBO are fighting on Pro Box right now, or are fighting on Team Combat League right now.
Oh,
It's enough fighters to go
that
around for them
clown.
for them to fund their league. They still put on decent fights, and everybody doesn't get 7-figure paydays. When they fight, most fighters don't even get nowhere near that.
Who's
These
the
guys are
broadcast partner?
literally making 4 figures, 5 figures, even on some of these, like even on some of Tank's cards. Some of those guys that only get like 15 grand, 20 grand, 30 grand on the undercard. These guys are making a ton of money.
For the TKO, though, model, who's the broadcast partner?
It'll be
Boxing
Netflix now
fans,
because they're with the WWE. Like I think that TKO stuff is under WWE. I seen them
Yeah.
post the Crawford Canelo fight on the WWE on X. Them comments was flaming them. Why is this up here? We don't like boxing. We ain't crossing up. Like them comments was flaming them. But they're
Mm-hmm.
because it's done is what's his name? Dana White,
Mm-hmm.
Turkey, and the president of the WWE are all partnered up to
Triple
do
H.
TKO.
So what's the channel?
Yeah.
The broadcast partner. Who's the broadcast partner?
Who's the broadcast partner for WWE?
I
Yo,
don't know.
if it's on network TV, people are
It's a
gonna watch
network.
it.
It's Netflix.
Exactly.
Netflix
Yeah, I
owns
thought
If it's on
Netflix has
if it's on
certain
network TV,
WWE
Netflix.
ones.
people are gonna watch it.
TKO gonna work. It's gonna work. It gonna might take some time, but it's gonna
They
work.
may be going at it the same way they got the contract with WWE Raw, whereas though they're gonna go ahead and have it
Yeah.
on there.
See, if TKO is underneath the WWE, then they already got they just gonna share the slots with them, I would assume. You
Well,
know what I'm saying?
TKO is TKO. Well, the larger company is TKO, UFC, and WWE, right?
Oh
Netflix.
wait, didn't they change the name
And they
from
got a deal
TKO to
with
Zuffa?
Netflix.
Okay.
No, it was
No, no,
Zuffa. It
no.
was Zuffa at first, but when Zuffa merged, they made that first big deal that they made with I forgot those Jewish guys' name. Some other Jewish guys
The one that sued
in
Top Rank?
entertainment. Um, damn, I
You
forgot
know,
his
Rachel,
name.
I got a
But
question
they
for
made
you.
the first deal with made the first deal, and the second move was when they got with WWE, right? Now they're gonna try to do this boxing thing. So I don't know. That shit ain't going. If they're gonna have fights, but I think they're gonna be broadcasted on Netflix since WWE already has a deal with them. And there's been some talk that Dana is gonna leave ESPN and go to Netflix and start streaming Netflix on there.
Mm,
I mean
I
UFC
don't know
fights
when the
over there.
exclusive contract for Netflix boxing, I don't know when that one's up, but there is someone that holds the exclusive contract, and I'm not going to confirm nor deny who holds it. But right now, everyone has to go through this one entity to be on Netflix.
Really?
Makes sense.
Uh-huh.
Let me ask you a question, Rachel. What do you know about the ESPN Kinahan Bob Arum thing? Do you
What
know
about
anything
it?
about
Like
that? Do you know anything? Like,
the fact
from
that
my understanding, somebody told that he took $90 million from Kinahan and didn't tell. I'm trying to understand like what actually happened with that, if you know.
well, Aram was working with DK for a while, and then there became federal investigations, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, and it became where the U.S. government was actually looking for DK. He was of course within Ireland and all those other ones, like they were looking for him there, but when it became something where the U.S. had to be involved, there was a wanted, what is it called? A bounty, pretty much for his head. And any information
Mm.
that's leading to him, then anyone and all that is associating with um, was pretty much complicit. And that's where you saw that Top Rank had made a statement that they don't deal with him and like they stepped away and all this other things. And basically, ESPN was like, hey, we're hearing, whispers that you were dealing with DK. Um, is it true or not? And of course, like their whatever statement denied it, but then there was like numerous interviews, video of Aram saying the opposite, saying that he pretty much knew everything that DK was about, but he was just like, I just don't deal with it. It's that has nothing to do with me. And so
Wow.
so I mean, like it was such a statement that everyone like had to was stepping back from any association with him at all because of the fact that now it's not just like oh well he's a bad guy, you shouldn't talk to him. No, the government's involved now, and you
Yeah,
don't
all
want
the
to
sanctions,
have
stuff like
your
that. Didn't Tyson Fury get like
yeah,
banned?
you don't want to have your books looked at because of the yeah, so you're just gonna freaking deny and break all ties and everything that you can to separate yourself as far as possible, so they don't look into your books and your business operations to see if you are an accomplice into
Money.
allowing DK to make money within the United States.
So is
And
that
Bob
why
knows better.
did they deal
Bob's
with Top Rank?
Bob's had the government on his behind before him and Don King years earlier. So
The
Bob
IBF,
knows
right?
better. He knows better than to be even find himself in a situation like that because he and Don King are mostly responsible for boxing not being on network TV when it was. So what he was thinking, I couldn't tell you, but I'm sure that ESPN said probably just said if you trying to mess with us, you can't mess with him.
So,
So
Yeah. I mean, it's
so
most of those things like you can't listen, boxing has some shadiest,
yeah,
most freaking shadiest people within boxing. And I couldn't tell you how many times like, hey, you talk to that guy or you get along with that guy. I'm like, we're cordial. That's usually my answer. We're cordial. Why? Well, you know he does this, or allegedly he does that, or allegedly he does this. So you kind of take it off like water off a duck's back until it becomes something where it's literally ordered by the government, then
yeah.
you're like, oh shit,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like you're like,
Awesome.
they want
okay,
that.
no.
I wonder why they want that nigga so bad.
Cause he the Irish mob.
Oh, okay. Oh, got you. I
Ain't no
wasn't.
telling what they was doing over here. Ain't no telling what he was doing over here. Laundering money. Ain't no telling what he was doing over here.
But wasn't that, I think Terrence Crawford was trying to use him for that hedge fund, wasn't he?
They saying
That
that
was
that was
Turkey.
Turkey from back then.
That was Turkey.
Okay,
But I
got
thought Turkey and Kinahan was connected. I don't know. It's a
you. Yeah,
lot
I
going
heard
on.
that
But
too. I heard that
I
same
just
thing.
seen that article with the Kinahan thing, and I was like, I remember when that whole Kinahan thing came out, and they dropped the article about the MTK Global and all the fighters and all of that, and I was like, damn, that's crazy. So for it to come full circle and find out, they because I remember the interviews with Bob, and he was like, he ain't never did nothing, I don't know nothing, all this other kind of stuff for it, and then for it to come back full circle. And I'm hearing that's the reason they didn't get the deal, didn't get to re-sign with ESPN. I just think that's wild.
Mm.
That's
Nasty work,
wild.
man.
That's heavy.
All
That's
I
I
know
heavy.
is
want to
all the
see what
fighters
this
that used to
deal
be
going to
under
look
Daniel
like with
Kinahan.
ESPN. I mean, with Top Rank and Al Heyman. I'm wondering what they working on.
Oh, Richard, what do you think about Oscar and Al all teaming up with PBC and all getting together trying to make
Top Rank,
fights?
yeah.
I heard Oscar say he's
I mean,
glad to be working with Al.
that's what they were supposed to do a long time ago. Like I hated the fact that, we lost opportunities to fight guys in Nonito's division because of that weird like stalemate that they did, right?
Yeah. Where they
So
was
I mean,
put
like
Bob
I'm
Toy.
happy.
Who
Yeah,
was
I
it
mean,
on though? Who was the issue? Was it all of them or one more than the
all of
other?
them. No, it was all of them. Nobody wanted to play in the same sandbox. They would, and then they would just fight it off in just regular media. And that at that point, it was just like Dan Rayfield and all them. It
It
wasn't
was stupid.
social, but
It
Yeah.
they would block. We want. I think I remember when Nonito wanted to fight Abner Mares. Top Rank was like, nope, nope.
And
Yeah.
that's
So
one
Top Rank
reason
do
why
be
it took so
blocking fight.
long for that
Yeah, Top Rank
Spence
doing that shit.
It's
Crawford
it's
fight.
it's a two-way
That's
street.
another reason why that took forever.
That's why Bob Aaron was like, why would I make fights for Tank Davis when I got fighters in my stable that I can make fights for?
Mm-hmm.
Well, also if they're
and
already if
vice
they're
and vice
investing
versa.
how much in if you're investing a lot of money into a fighter, and let's just say that there is a belt somewhere to be had, or actually let's give fighter A from fighter promotion a belt and fighter B a belt as well. To do a unification between the two, like the amount of negotiation is going to be horrendous because neither promotion is going to want to lose that belt, right? That's their whole power. That's their whole sell point is they have a champion, blah 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 blah. But then in addition to that, they're also not going to want to agree to a rematch. That's why a lot of, for example, someone like Angelo Leo, when he fought and knocked out that one guy, I'm blanking right now. Um, that one guy from Mexico that he knocked out.
Lopez.
Which one?
Alberto Lopez.
Yeah. So when he knocked him out, so you remember Angelo Lee was coming back through the ranks after being with Floyd Mayweather. He signed over to Pro Box, and they built him back up into a world championship. And then, but when he had the opportunity, he took out Top Ranks, but in that contract stated if you win, we get a 3-fight option. So that's why Angelo was sent over to fight Tomoki Kameda in Japan under a co-agreement with the Japanese promotion of Tekken and Kameda's, because they had a 3-fight option for Angelo when he took the belt. So that's the best case scenario for a promoter, right? Doesn't matter if you're not signed to me. If you do win, I'm going to put in your contract that if you beat my fighter, I own you too.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a top rank move for sure.
So that's probably why Devin Haney had to fight
They,
those.
they learned that from
like
Don
top
King.
rank.
That's Don King 101 right there, baby.
Uh-huh.
Well, that goes back
Man,
further.
but Don King and Bob Arum is peers, ain't they?
Yeah, that goes back further than
They
Don
go
King.
back.
Yeah.
If you remember when Joe Louis got the rematch with Max Milling, do you know how many options he had to give him? Max Milling got paid for the next 8 fights that I think it was 8 or 10 that Joe Louis had after the rematch. So that's how far that goes.
Talking about milking the game.
Yeah.
Lie.
So
Well,
it's
Kurt Flood said there's a thin line between the athlete and the slave.
Yeah.
I want y'all to remember that.
And he's right.
Somebody wrote a book called $1 Million Slaves.
Uh-huh.
So
like I say, these fighters don't get to call their own shots. So when people get up here and say this fighter ducked that fighter and this fighter don't want to do that, no, they got handlers. Handlers make the decision for these guys. They tell them who to fight, when they're gonna fight, and sometimes how they gonna fight.
Damn, where Rachel went?
Where Rachel at?
I don't
She
know.
left?
Maybe she fell off. Shout out Boxing Hacker on the Boxing Hacker. Hold on, Boxing Hacker. I gotta see if Rachel gonna come back. Rachel, let me know if you want to come back up in the chat. I'll kick Boxing Hacker off. What up, Boxing Hacker? What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
You mean you get kicked Supreme off, right? You have to kick Supreme off, you know. Hey, what's up, 2 cents? What's up? Yeah, I saw
up, Hacker?
Hey, what's up, Greg? That was great.
Hey, what's going on?
No, and David, what's up?
Uncle Hacker.
Hey, I gotta say something, right? I heard
the bullshit, Hacker. Let's go.
Let's hear it, right? Hey, I have to say something, right? This whole concept of fighters getting overpaid, I don't think that actually exists, right?
It does.
No, it really doesn't. You can't say because company A pays this fighter this much, and I decide to come in and say I'm gonna pay him more, that I'm overpaying him. That's a weird
revenue.
Who created that? Who created that bottom line? Like,
it's based off the revenue that you can generate.
That's not true because not all fighters get paid like that. Some fighters only get paid a flat fee. A lot of fighters get paid a flat fee, to be honest with you. You know, and it's not like, everything I sell goes to me. No, a percentage of whatever the event made goes to me. So who's to say like what that percentage should be? If I think,
so you're telling me they don't have a formula to figure out what to pay fighters by?
Yeah, but that's based on your company's business model. Right, it's not based on some.
So then you could be overpaid. That's how you can be overpaid.
No, in a company, but you can't say the competitor. If I decide to pay the fighters more or give them more of a percentage, that's just my business model because I feel like their value to the company is worth more, or I can attract them based on incentive. But who's to say that what I'm doing is overpaying and what you're doing is correct paying? You see what I'm saying?
Numbers, Boxing Hacker.
It's not based on there's no bottom line. A fighter is a fighter. Like there's no actual bottom line there.
Hey,
you think these companies don't have a formula to what they figure out what they want to pay?
Yeah, but that formula is based on their business model. So it's based on their business. It's not based on like every business that comes.
If my formula says I should pay you $100,000 and Turkey come and give you $1 million, he's overpaying.
No. Who's to say? Your formula is the bottom line though?
Rachel's trying to get back in.
Oh, Rachel's trying to get back in?
Yeah, she said her phone was tripping out.
Damn, Hacker.
Damn. Hacker, come back. You was the last one to come up. Come back. I'm going to let Rachel back up. All right. Nothing personal, Hacker. Just you was the last one to come up.
Hey, 2 Cent, but think about it like this: the zone want to stop paying Canelo. They say he ain't fighting the people. We're not gonna keep paying you, but PBC picked them up and paid them. They
Yeah,
had a
that's the
different
false
value
narrative, bro.
because
That's
based
not what
on their
happened.
but I'm saying, just saying, based on their business model, they felt like they could make money with Canelo. Where some other people saying, no, we can't make money. We don't want to pay that much money. Let's say that.
You know
Yeah,
what's
I get
But
crazy?
it.
The
when they
zone
signed
really went
Canelo,
under
coach,
with
when they
overpaying Triple G. They never
when they
bringing that up.
signed Canelo, coach, what happened is they thought that the zone was just launching. They thought Canelo was going to drive the subscription rate up, and he didn't. And then COVID hit at the same time, but they had the contract. So as far as Canelo was concerned, y'all got to still pay me because that's what I signed for. So they had to actually negotiate their way out of that contract. That's what happened there. It wasn't just it, it, it was just a bad situation. COVID hit. They didn't make as much money as they thought they was going to make, and so the subscription rate didn't shoot up because I think it was a $379 million contract, something like that. And Golden Boy got caught in the crossfire, so they had to give up something as well. But it wasn't just they thought they was going to. They didn't make the. It wasn't just as simple as he didn't make the money that we thought we were going to make with him. Circumstances changed for everybody.
Yeah, especially after you say after COVID hit for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
COVID hit right during that time.
I ain't gonna lie, I can't really blame Canelo, bro, because he signed like 2018, right?
No, I'm
Yeah.
not blaming Canelo.
No, no,
Canelo was
I'm just
right.
asking. I'm not trying to like fight with you. I'm just asking like a
No,
serious
no.
question.
When he signed, they our Golden Boy that signed. That was a great contract at the time, and just what happened, COVID hit. So
What
everything.
year? When did he sign in
I'm saying what
2020 or
year?
like
I
before
think it.
2019?
I think it was either 2019 or 2018.
I
All right,
think it
so the
was
reason why I asked that is
2018
because
for sure.
they gave Triple G 100 million. And if you remember, like you said, COVID hit and then he got real inactive. So I really think it's really more Triple G, but I think Canelo is a large part of it. But I remember reading an article where they mentioned Tevin Farmer. They was overpaying him. They was overpaying Bivol, Jojo Diaz. They was giving these guys 1 million, 2 million, 3 million. It's like they don't deserve that. So I just feel like the zone at the time was overpaying a lot of people. Like
Yeah,
I
they
don't
just
think
thought it was.
Canelo. I
I'm
think
sorry.
Canelo actually did his job. On my part, like because you look at the pay-per-views that he had, they was selling 500,000, seven
Yeah,
hundred thousand. You
they
look at
gave
Triple
Mikey
G, of course, is
Garcia
bringing in the same
like
amount of
$7
revenue
million,
to warrant
man.
that
I
$100
don't
million
blame
contract.
Canelo though. I think Canelo's supposed to. Y'all told me y'all gonna pay me this amount of money. I want it, so he went to court on it.
That's a
So
fact. I agree with
that's
him.
the thing. Yeah, just circumstances changed, and the zone realized, hey, we bit off more than we can chew. We need to get up out of this.
That's a fact.
And the zone is terribly in the red.
Yeah, they were paying fighters way too much. They paid Mikey Garcia like $7 million or something to fight Jesse Vargas, man, some crazy number like that. Then they
What's
tried
the
to
what's
pay
the guy
Charlo like they
that
tried to
Tevin
get
Farmer
Charlo
fought
like
that
$8 or
tested
$9 million to fight Andrade, but he didn't take it.
What's the
They
Asian guy that he fought that tested positive after the fight? The one that Joe
Benavidez?
Cordina knocked out in the first round?
You talking about Charlo? The one
Nah,
Charlo
it
knocked
was it
out?
was a Japanese kid that Farmer fought, but
Um,
after the fight he tested positive though. And I believe Joe Cordina knocked him out in the first round. But
Oh,
basically in the article they brought up that they gave Tevin Farmer like 2 million for that fight. Now this guy's like an unknown Japanese domestic level guy. So it's like why is he getting 2 million for that? So I
yeah.
just felt like the zone just was like they was going crazy.
But see, at that point, like, there's no universal price tag for a fighter. People keep acting like there's like a universal price. There isn't. It's just based on the company. Normally
People saying
you'll
that
you
dumb
say
shit,
people get
bro.
paid under an average, right? You say, okay, let's say like a normal job, like you look at your salary based on average, but it's not like a price tag. But you got to try and make it seem like it's some kind of price tag that these fighters
It
have.
is a price tag that
There
the
isn't.
fighters have.
There
Box
isn't.
Hacker, yes, it is.
No, there isn't. Because okay, think about it. Okay, let's say
You think Tevin Farmer deserves $3 million to fight an unknown Japanese guy?
if the company deems it, why not? I'm not
So why
gonna
they
pocket
complain
watch your
about it?
brother.
So that goes against your
Why
point.
why would I pocket watch your brother? But here's the thing.
This thing is
Look at
crazy.
it this way. Let's say the zone. Okay, let's say the zone.
Box Hacker, you're not about to come up here and mess up the flow of the conversation, bro. What you trying to say?
So let's keep some political thinking here, right? Let's just say Kevin Farmer got paid by the zone $3 million, right?
Yeah.
And this
Oh,
another
shit.
company will have paid him $5 million, right? Which
Bro,
company is
you
overpaying
missed
him?
your
Which
whole
company is
point,
underpaying him?
bro.
Both of them are overpaying him, boxing.
Both of them overpay him based on what?
Bro, you going against your whole
It
point.
never make,
Based on what
bro.
though?
You never make sense, bro.
No,
You
it's not.
crazy.
It's based on the company
Bro,
that.
you
No, 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 no.
going
It's
back,
based
bro.
on the
You
company
going against
itself.
your
The company is the one that pays them.
yeah,
You
You
can
No,
realize
always
that,
talk
right?
wait,
about
hold
what
on,
you
hold
want to
on,
be
hold
true.
on, time out, because we got Rachel Donaire up here. Y'all know she know the fight game. Husband's a fighter. Could you explain to Boxing Hacker how a fighter could be overpaid?
I mean, they could. I understand the DAZN model though. Like what Matchroom was trying to do, they were trying to break into an industry that, of course, like Top Rank and Golden Boy were like, get the fuck out of here. Like this is what we do, right? So for them, as a UK business, I would almost liken to them overpaying fighters, quote unquote, as a marketing expense because that created more subscription and they switch baited y'all by saying, "Oh, we're never gonna pay pay-per-view fees," and look what we're doing fucking now. Like how much is fucking
But Rachel,
DAZN
right?
cost? Huh?
But you see what I'm saying? It's based on their model right at that point. They're basing off of like you said, off of like marketing and stuff. So it's the
Yeah,
company's model that's paying them.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like I honestly think that the way that they did it was to make a splash, was to be like, y'all, we're the newest, baddest thing. And they knew that they were gonna lose and not have the revenue as far as, 60 or 90-day net. But they knew that all of us dumbasses fucking sent subscription. And now we're, even if you don't remember that your subscription's there, it's fucking there coming out of your account every month.
And even if you
So
cancel it, it's still coming out your account every month.
yeah,
Yo, they did
then
that
the
to me.
biggest
So I
fights were
called my
doing
bank. I had to
pay-per-views.
call the
So
bank on them, man.
but when you're looking at that, so look at that kind of model and you start to, do the spreadsheet on when this is going to pay off, and the
Right.
amount of subscription that they had that wasn't a boxing base before worldwide is worth it to them because of the users and what they're paying monthly, even though they keep raising the son of a bitch. And I just
Because
do
they
want to
still
say that,
in the red, Rachel. They're still in the red. The zone is still in the red.
within
Yep.
boxing,
I
I
don't know
just
if they're
know,
in the red.
period,
That's
them as
why
an app, they're in
They
the
don't
red.
even release
I don't
numbers.
know
How
if
do y'all
they,
get
I
all
don't know
these
if they've
TKO
had
and get
a,
too.
I
think
don't know if
about it.
they've
That's
had a
why
profitable
they
year.
fucking depended on Turkey.
They've never released their numbers.
Wait a
in
minute.
I
addition
read
to
a whole
Turkey,
article
actually
about
did
it.
I
buy.
seen that
Yeah,
interview.
but they're
I
private. They
seen an
don't
article
release
where they said
numbers.
that the zone was like 1.5 billion in the red or something like that.
That's
Yeah, I
why
read an
I
article.
think
Articles
That's a
say
lot
anything,
of
man.
money.
how it
They
makes
don't
sense
release
why the
numbers. I don't know
nigga
where they get the
who's
information
on
from.
Turkey did.
Well,
Hey,
and Turkey had actually bought into the zone as well now.
Yeah.
So I don't think they're as in the red as they would have been. I don't really when it's public record that they're, not public record, but when it's reported that companies are in the red, there's certain business decisions that are easier when you think that they're in the red than when
Ah,
they're not.
makes sense.
So the public perception is, yeah, we're in the red, but y'all are still fucking paying. I do want to say though, with Canelo, in respects to Canelo, what's interesting about Canelo is that did you know that none of Mexico pays for his fights?
Yeah, I
That
yeah,
knew
it's
that.
free.
nope.
Yeah.
Yeah, he got a network deal with the people over there.
What's the name of the company again? I forgot the name. He signed a deal like
Because you remember he
2023
made
though.
that announcement. He was like, "Oh, I gotta make a special announcement," and he
In
came out and was
23.
like,
Ain't it
"Oh,
like
Yep.
Yep.
all
Sila or
my
some
fights gonna
shit?
be free."
I
Is
forgot the
it
name of the
Sila?
Free,
company, but I
free
remember
for his
the
people.
press conference for it though.
Yeah.
That's
But
like the first time they.
you know what? One of the things that Matchroom and DAZN, what you guys are not seeing, or that is not being discussed, when we talk about fighters that are getting overpaid, what a fighter like that, it's high risk, right? And they have one bad night could end their career, and they could never come back. It's highly possible they never come back, right? And at the end of the day, fighters don't own anything. I keep saying this over and over again. And I liken it to a slave contract because you don't own your name or your likeness. You don't own your TV rights most of the time. I'm not talking about Canelo. Um, You don't own your replays, your masters. You don't own, like, you can't really make a decision without that
Can
promoter's
you
contract.
negotiate that? Can you negotiate that,
Yeah.
like to own
Yeah,
that, to
some
own your
people
likeness
can.
and
Yeah.
stuff, or no?
Tank.
Some
You,
Yeah.
people can.
yeah, no, 100% you can. But the thing is that now we're talking about fighters that actually understand how to sit in a fucking boardroom and actually negotiate it. Most of these fighters don't do that. Most of these managers really don't give a fuck. I couldn't tell you one of the fighters that I talked to that's a world champion who a week ago, and they said that they're like, can you look at my contract? Blah 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 blah. I'm like, dude, you're locked in until 2028 half year. And
Wow.
if you consolidate, you also have another 2.5 years back on that as well. Like, so they sign contracts because, I mean, at the end of the day, most fighters like Nonito, they just freaking sign their lives away. They don't even understand that, right? And then to understand it and negotiate it properly. So that being said, someone like Matchroom that quote unquote, or DAZN that quote unquote could be in the red, any of those fights that get replayed, they own the masters. You want them, you have to pay for it. It doesn't matter who, I don't know, Showtime or whatever, ESPN. If one of the matchroom fighters is fighting someone on a top rank card and they want to be able to replay it, they have to pay for every single time that they replay it.
Mm.
That's the same thing that Top Rank has. Top Rank's masters room in the
Yes.
Top Rank office is
Mhm.
huge.
So
And
is that what Teofimo's talking about?
what was Teofimo talking about?
I'm saying, like, as far as like the contract issues and having problems with ESPN, is that what he's referring to, or you probably can't speak on that?
No, I think what and I'm assuming because I don't, Teo
Yeah,
says
it's all
stuff and then
speculation, just action.
no, I just don't know which, in which timeline we're talking about because I don't
I'm talking
super
about
keep up.
recently, as far as him having contract disputes with, Bob Arum, them taking him to court, him having interviews,
I think his
publicly.
issue was he was saying they extended his contract when he did something and he said it wasn't
Oh,
extended. I think
yeah,
that
I
was
that's
the
think
easy.
was
issue.
it the
Okay,
Claggett
so
fight that they extended it?
yeah, so what happened is, and I knew that this was happening. I think too that we talked about this like way back when on Upper's channel, or someone's channel. I can't remember anymore whose. But we were talking about like Tio's like, oh, I'm retiring, and oh, like all this
Mm-hmm,
other,
mm-hmm.
stuff. And I was like, he ain't retiring. I was like, and if he is, like, I was like, I guarantee you that Top Rank is sending a letter over to WBO to demand that he vacates his belt. And at that point, he knew, well, fuck, I'm not going to vacate my belt. That's my prize. That's what, because you get a bump in pay, a significant bump in pay when you become a world champion. You lose the belt, you go back down. Okay. So that's his only negotiating tool. He's not going to let that go. But he didn't understand that within his contract on the initial term and the extensions, that if he wins a world title, it extends the goddamn contract because they're not going to give you a world title for you to just run.
Yep.
Yep.
And I think,
Facts.
Rachel, what you were speaking of is something I had mentioned before about the top rank library, which if you go on your cable station, wherever you live, you go to their on-demand portion, and you go and you see all of those old fights. Most of them are owned by Top Rank, where you pay, see something from all of Oscar De La Hoya fights and things of that nature. And Top Rank, I think
Even
Don
like Hearns
has
versus
some,
Leonard and stuff like that.
yeah, Don King has a library too, but I don't know if he's broadcasting it right now. But I know Top Rank is pulling in lots of money over the years because their library is so extensive.
And
Yeah.
wasn't Bob Arum a lawyer?
Huh?
Yes, he was.
Yeah, so
And
yeah,
like,
them contracts
and
is
that's the
airtight
thing.
then.
I mean, maybe like when we were there, it wasn't as airtight. I've seen that it's gone through some updates, and it's getting
Yeah, because it's
tighter
people
for
like you.
sure.
They like, yo, y'all talk too much. You know what? We gotta put
Bro,
our man through these
they walk
contracts.
the other way when they see me. I'm like, dude, we ain't even working together no more. Like, we could be cordial. It's all good. Don't worry. But
So they really get mad at you when you astute and you try to negotiate, like they feel some type of way?
Girl, do you not remember when I
It's
stalled
shoulders.
Nonito after the Montiel fight? It's public record. Like, look it up. Like, Nonito, I pulled him. I wasn't happy with what they were trying to pull with Nonito, and I stalled him for 4 months. And Nonito was pissed, of course, because he wanted to get back in the ring as a champion. Um, and immediately Bob Arum was like, "She's a tart. She man, like, like completely.
Not to
I was
bring
like
him
that.
up, but
Mm.
I gotta do it because like I've been on a panel with you a couple times. What's up with this guy, man? Dick Glazer. I don't know what happened with you and him. Like he always says something negative about you. Like I don't know what the timeline or how y'all cross paths, but I see the interview with him and
He's
the
still
Puerto
talking
Rican
about
kid.
me.
No,
That's
no, it
cute.
was an interview with him and the Puerto Rican kid. I forgot his name, but I think True Sports Media.
That's cute.
Oh,
He might be Dominican, and
okay.
he asked about you, and then he went on a whole tirade, and I'm like, yo, what the hell happened to him and her?
So, I mean, listen, like I've never had to deal with him professionally. It was just BWA had me on the ballot for something. I honestly can't remember what it was. It must have been manager. Because because I had negotiated Nonito to be back into like some, fights. I probably the WBSS year or something like that. I honestly don't remember which it was. And he started tagging me and twittering me like, "Hey." He was talking to his friend, but he was tagging me. He's like, "You should win over her. She only has one fighter." And I was like, "Yo, like, I don't even know you. You ain't on the voting panel. Like, why are you coming at me?" And so Rap Star, who's based, I think, in the UK,
Yeah, in the
had
UK.
set up so he set up a debate and he ran off the panel in 20 minutes because when I brought up the BWA awards, the awardees, the ones that won over the past 2 decades, I was able to name a bunch of managers that only had one fighter. And his false pretense that I only advise just Nonito, which is extremely wrong.
Yeah, I'm
And
sure he
so
hated that. I could tell.
yeah, so he ran off the panel and like rage quit in 20 minutes and I fucking started laughing. And so that's it. I mean, like, I don't listen, like
So that's the
like
reason
I
why he
said,
got smoked with you because you ran him off the panel.
yeah,
Damn.
yeah, that's it.
Rick Glazer is such a man.
People
So
get in
y'all
their
know I don't like
feelings
Rick
about
Glazer.
this stuff. I mean, good Lord, they just get in their
Well,
feelings.
But
I mean, you also have to remember, like I told you guys, like there's very interesting individuals in the sport of boxing. It depends on if you want to deal with the devil or the devil reincarnate or the devil's fucking twin at this point. Because Rick Glaser is in the sport and yet um he was charged with rolling back odometers on his lot. Like that's the
yeah,
kind of people we deal with in boxing. It just depends on like how scummy of people do you want to deal with. That's it. There really isn't great people in boxing.
mm, that's crazy.
And
That's
that's why
interesting
I
to
guess
hear.
they call it the red light district because I mean everybody has a deep past, some deeper than others.
Yeah, yeah. And
So
you can always
nobody can really
find
look
them.
at each other side eye and say I'm better than you because if you look at every single promoter, they've done something that
Oh yeah.
would not want anybody talking about. So that's
Yeah,
just
I'll
what
get
they
turkey out of here. You draw turkey out my check.
It's
are.
We gonna
okay.
go.
Don't worry about him. It's fine. Like, yeah, I'm a boxing wife, and yet I know more than you. And you can come up here and debate me, and I'll pull you black and white and tell you on technical shit on
Gotta
boxing,
go after
and
Barney.
I'll show you evidence. So, I mean, at least I'm a fucking good ass fucking wife. You can't even do anything for your wife as a husband. She already left.
Why
Love
dry
her.
turkey talking like that?
I
I don't know
have
what's
no
up with dry
idea.
turkey. Your name is dry turkey.
Somebody always talking real
You
greasy
talking
like
greasy.
no reason. Darn.
Dry
Come back
turkey.
tomorrow, dry turkey. Try it again.
But yeah, like the
Y'all
thing
know
is
I
with
don't time
boxing,
people out my chat, but that's dumb. That was stupid.
Yeah.
I appreciate
Hey,
two
did
cents. I
y'all
mean, like,
see the Oh, my bad. Go ahead, Rachel.
Go ahead, Rachel.
no. Just, I mean, you'll find out. I mean, like, YouTube streets are, it's, you see
Diabolical.
some of them coming around, But when you get into the business, like, and you go to these conventions and you go to these fights, like, it's a lot of fake smiling.
Mm, I
Hey,
bet.
Rachel,
I bet.
when's the next time Nonito is fighting?
Honestly, like, how do I say this? We don't give a shit.
Okay.
Y'all
The
just having
reason why I
fun
say
now?
this,
Y'all just having fun now?
yeah, like, listen, and it's no disrespect, but I mean, like, he's been in this game for so long and he's done everything that anyone's ever asked him to.
Mm-hmm.
He honestly asked me to come back for this fight. We talked about it. I watched how he trained. I looked at the opponent, et cetera, et cetera. You know, and at the end of the day, like, we had we had a discussion a week before the fight. And I was like, can we do something different? And he was like, what? And I was like, if you came back because you're having fun, why don't we just have fun? And I was like, and so we talked about, you know, because we always speak it into existence and we talk about positivity. When you win and they ask you who you're coming for next, I was like, can we just say that we're just enjoying the moment? Why can't we just enjoy the win? Why can't we just be
Right.
present? And so I think that's what we're trying to portray to, everyone. Like, it's at this point in time, like, listen, we're not going for knockout of the year. We're not going for fighter of the year. We're not trying to set a standard or anything like that. We're having fun and enjoying the time that we have left in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good place. And I
That's
think all
very
fighters
nice.
should get to that point. That's a very
Yeah.
good point to be in.
Because
And
you've
you're still
already set
winning.
some standards. So, why not have fun now? You've already set some standards.
You've already
Yeah.
achieved goals and made the money, like, and you definitely should be having fun at this point. And you're winning. And you
Yeah.
still, well, that's excellent. Like, I get it. Like, fighters get to a point to where I feel like they're just fighting now. They're done. Like Deontay
Yeah.
Wilder. Deontay Wilder is done, guys. He's not about to come back. He's not about to be no change. He's not about to do none of that. But he still wants to fight. So I don't
Yeah.
think it should be any pressure or criticisms on him because he's still I ain't like Wilder not damn near 40 years old. Like, he didn't have all those tough fights with Tyson Fury. Like, what do y'all expect from him? So
But
I
I
like
feel,
when fighters get to a point to where they just fighting for fun. There's no pressure. I ain't trying to be a champ. Like, it's no pressure. Like, I like when fighters can get to that point in their career because a lot of
I,
people don't even make it there.
I sort of don't like that because one thing about boxing, if you don't retire, it's gonna retire you sooner or later.
I'm just putting
Yeah,
it like that.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's the thing is that, like, it should be a choice, right? But it shouldn't be a choice that is pushed upon us because that we're taking fights that we shouldn't be in at this point. And that's where you're like, you see these fighters that are still sparring. They're still training because, listen, this is what they've done for the last two
For
goddamn
their whole life.
decades.
Yeah.
You're gonna take that one joy, the one that gives them that adrenaline. It's kind of, like that hype to get into the ring. Now, whether that is a small club show or a sparring match, like, it should be their option. But the thing is, what happens after every fight? I can tell you, Nonito as the fighter of the year 4 times, fighting in one effing year, fighting every single number one, number two in the division, one after the goddamn other every single time. Max Kellerman says, are you going to fight this person next? Are you going to fight that person next? Are you going to fight this person? It was never enough.
Yeah, it's never
Yeah,
ending.
Mhm.
yeah.
Because if it was
I
enough,
agree.
there's no point in boxing after that.
Fight
It has
fans
to
want you to
continue.
keep on and keep on and keep on. They keep moving the goalposts. You hit
Like,
one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
they
y'all
just
feel like Roy Jones should have kept fighting? I feel like he should have stopped
he should
a
have been
while back.
stopped.
He did it
But I
on his
mean,
own time.
if you wanted to, he can. I mean, who's to tell a fighter they should stop
I
Yeah.
fighting,
think he should
right?
have went to
But
cruiserweight and just stayed there.
Yeah, true. You
all
Because
should
right,
have.
y'all. We've been
boxing,
on here
boxing
for
not a
two
normal
and a
sport,
half
man. You
hours
take
tonight. We're
damage.
gonna go around the panel, let everybody get their final 2 cents off. We're gonna start with you, David. What's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Hey, I was just going to a page and I saw which is perceived to be a leak video of David David Benavidez sparring somebody Pacheco,
Diego.
Oh,
and
Pacheco.
yeah, and they was going at it.
Pacheco at
They
68.
was getting, yeah, they was
Diego's
getting that
fighting
work.
Trevor.
Yep, they was getting that work in the ring. It was a sparring session. I was like, that's interesting.
I think Diego's the best fighter under 25, in my opinion.
He
Yeah,
under
I wanna.
how old is he?
Diego's like 21, 22.
Oh,
23
he
or
baby.
24.
23. All right, so then yeah, we in 25 now. But like the fight, the level of competition he's fought at that age is kind of impressive. At that weight class, to me at least, I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like Dave Benavidez is like a cheat character on a video game. You know.
he a cheat code. He a cheat code.
Yeah, he's like
When you go up
that one
higher
character
in weight, he a cheat
you pick just to
code.
beat all your friends. You know.
And he's picking up. He's becoming a gym rat, and he's
I think he's
starting to
always
get
been that. He's always
sharper.
been that. He's
He's
so
getting
fast.
sharper.
He's so fast.
Yeah.
His hand speed's nuts for his
You
size.
talking about somebody that can put combinations together on you quick in the phone booth
Yep.
up
Yep.
against the ropes?
Yeah.
Benavidez can do that. That's why Canelo ducked the hell out of him.
I mean, I think
Canelo ain't
he's
trying to
good
fight
at
that
good reason. I
man.
don't think Canelo should even take that
I
fight.
might be in the minority, but I think Canelo could have beat him at 168. This is my opinion. I think the Benavidez that fought Morrell and fought Boo Boo, nah, I don't think so. But I think like when they wanted the fight to be made at that time, I think Canelo could have beat him. Honestly,
It'll be a
just
hard
my
fight. It'll be a hard fight. That guy's
I don't know
he
the Benavidez that fought Ronald Gavil. I don't know if he could have beat Canelo at that time, bro. Honestly,
Benavidez that fought Boo Boo.
Gavil put him on his ass once or twice, and he won by split decision. Then the second fight, he won by majority. I don't think he was ready for Canelo at that time. I feel like when the Benavidez I saw versus Morrell, that's the one that I feel like Canelo. I don't want to fight this guy. But when they wanted the fight to be made at that time, 21, 22, so I don't think he would have beat him. Honestly, that's my opinion.
All
I
right,
don't
all
think
right,
that-
all right.
I
Yeah,
What
don't
else
you
you
think
got,
may
David?
wait out this opportunity. Um, Another thing that I was just sitting back and I was checking out that y'all notice y'all not giving Bob Burnham his due respect for making all these Riyadh season cards with his boxes highlighting and still having signed to Turkey but still on PBC. He loaning them out perfectly. Just hey, you want to make that money? Go ahead on over there. I'll be here when you get back. He crossed the line, come right back. Like that ball got caught over in the yard and they had to hop the fence and go get it. Get that money, that's that bag, that's the ball, and then hop back over to PBC. I love it, man. It's funny.
Yeah. I mean, they're
So
showing.
Bob is winning the game. He won the game. Look at it. Top
I've been
rank,
in the game a long time.
but he's still in the game. But look, check it out though. Who on top? Al is. Bob allowed Dana White to compete with him every time he threw a boxing event on ESPN. Either it was pay-per-view or fight night, and he would mess up Bob's ratings. That's
Mm.
why the ratings went down for Top Rank over on ESPN. You go back and look at it. It's documented. Every night that they have boxing coming on ESPN Plus, at the same time there's a UFC pay-per-view, or if the rules were reversed, Top Rank got a pay-per-view, and the next thing you know, Dana got a fight night going on somewhere. He just messed their money, their ratings all up. That's the reason why they was fighting on Thursday night. Nobody watched boxing on Thursday night. Come on. It's ridiculous. He messed up their money that bad they had to go to Thursday night so he couldn't compete with them. That's sad.
All
That's
right,
so
David,
sad.
thank you for coming up today. Give me your 2 cents for the show.
All right.
See you next time. I'll be back again. What's today? Y'all check me out for the pop-up lives because I missed a lot of lives last week. So I'm gonna be popping up throughout the week. Band up,
All
what's your
right.
final 2 cents? What you got for the show? All right, David. See you next time.
Peace and blessings.
All right, Dave.
Vanda, what's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show? Vanda, going once, going twice. All right. Oh, I put the wrong person on. Boxing Hacker, what's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Yo, what's up, 2 cents? So, like I said before, there's no such thing as a fighter getting overpaid. It's just based on a company's business model. You know, it's from when you say somebody's even getting overpaid, you're looking at one company's business model over another. You know, and if people say, "Oh, Turkey's overpaying," they used to say PBC was overpaying. No, they just feel that they can put more money towards fighters to get them to come over, give them more sense to come over, for them to get more eyes on their shows. It is what it is. But it's not to say one fighter is getting overpaid and the other company's paying them just correct. You know, as far as this whole concept of like Turkey losing money, I always say it's an investment. I've yet to see Turkey even complain about stuff. I see other people complaining, "Oh, he's not making money. His shows are crashing out," even though most of the time we don't even get the numbers of how much the shows are actually making. But somehow everybody knows that his shows are crashing out. You know. But at the end of the day, he's okay with it, and he's investing. Looks like he's invested for a good period of time. You know. So with that being said, like I mean, to all the fighters that are making money off Turkey and for all the shows he's put in, I don't see why people can even say he's doing a bad thing, you know. And then last but not least, man, shouts out to Shakur Stevenson. He is definitely going to step on Williams Appear this weekend, you know. So all you Shakur haters, just be ready to bring out your tissue and start crying. Well, Fout, salute to you, 2 cents, Rachel, Greg, and everybody that was on the panel.
Boxing Hacker, I better see you back if he lose. I don't want to have to be looking for you.
I mean, that day is not coming. You know that, right?
Yeah, we'll see.
I hope. I pray Tank wins because it looks like Lamont Roach is looking dangerous. We need Tank to win so he can lose to Shakur. All right, that's what I'm hoping. Okay.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see though.
I'll be here.
Win
or lose. You can still be Shakur. Roach ain't got nothing to do with Shakur.
You said who can still be Shakur?
Win or lose, Roach ain't got nothing to do with it.
The day Tank and Shakur fight, you better be on live. We're gonna be on live together. I want to see your tears come out your eyes.
All right, Boxing Hacker.
All right, y'all. Salute.
Mr. Greg, what's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show?
First, I'm glad to see Rachel. Rachel, you got to come on Friday when it's just the ladies. We have to fall back and hear what. And we.
Yeah, I do a ladies only panel on Friday, Rachel.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Fridays at 6:30.
Yeah, bring that expertise so some of these guys can hear how boxing is supposed to be talked without talking over each other. So I wanted to put that in for you. This was a good night. I'm glad that you're back up and running, Tucson, because I was wondering what was going on. You know, you hadn't had your live, so I said, okay, she might have been a little busy, Mike, but it's good to see you back. I still am not certain about this fight with Shakur this weekend. And
Mr. Greg, it's Saturday. You got to come with the prediction now. At this point, you've been saying that.
I might have to do it. I might have to do it later. I don't have it today, that's for sure. I don't know why. It's something about this fight with that he has coming up that has me like, I don't know. I don't believe Belanga's going to win his fight, though. I will say that. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't feel it for him right now.
Right.
But again, I wouldn't
be surprised if he lost.
Oh, yeah. But it was enjoyable to get on the panel. I'm still recovering because I found that it's bronchitis that I have. That's why I was
that coughing, huh? Yeah, that bronchitis hurt too.
I finally went back to Kaiser again today, and they told because they had misdiagnosed me, to be quite honest. But I should be good in about, I say, another 5 days. It may take a shorter period of time, but I'm giving it longer just to be certain. But anyway, I will see you. I guess you'll pop up sometime before Friday, I'm assuming.
Yep. Check me out. Check for me during the week. Turn your notifications on.
Yeah, so we'll look forward to seeing you Friday and some other time this week. Look forward to seeing you come back on for the all ladies panel, Rachel.
Thank you.
Yeah, so
All right,
I will
Mr.
see
Gray.
y'all
Thanks for
then. Good
coming in.
night.
Good night.
All right.
Rachel, what's your final 2 cents? What you got for the show? Thank you for stopping by the show tonight, giving us that great boxing knowledge. But what's your final 2 cents?
I'm so glad to catch you late night. Mostly, I've been, I used to be able to do daytimes, but my schedule's not permitting right now. And I come at the end of the nights, going around the YouTube streets because that's pretty much the time that I get to talk to adults. I didn't know that I didn't know that you're doing a Friday panel. I will look forward to it. Text me and I will. I've had my notifications on. It doesn't always work,
Yeah,
but I'm glad to catch you live. I love talking. To boxing actor I've talked to before. Of course, Mr. Greg. He always has that. I love his non-confrontational conversations. But I guess at the end of the day, like. Listen, guys, you want boxing to survive, we have to support the sport through YouTube, through liking and subscribing and talking. We have to keep talking about the sport. We have to keep raising the sport because that's the only way that it's going to keep it alive. I look forward to talking to you on Friday and talking
okay.
about the fight that's happening this weekend. So yeah. I look
All
forward to
right.
it.
All
All
right,
right.
Rachel.
You have a good night.
Coming by. No cap, you late. No cap, you late, bro. You late. You missed the
No, I
whole
was
lot.
late.
Where you been, man? Where you been? What's up with you? What you got for the show?
Man, I ain't got nothing. I was just chilling. Shit, I was trying to. Let me shit on Boxing Hacker right quick. Boxing Hacker, man. I'm going with your ass. I'm gonna figure out who your paid handler is. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, you
I
was
know
on the.
you
What
be. I know you on the DHP payroll. You a tax write off for DHP.
You was
You
on
know what I'm
Dean panel
saying?
the other day. You wasn't on Dean panel, was you?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, okay. I was gonna say, how you know we caught boxing hacker? You was there.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
on.
boxing hacker. We on to you, boxing hacker. We on to you. Your cover been blown, boxing hacker.
Yeah, Boxing Hacker. I knew you sound familiar. You know what I'm saying? I had Bill
Can you
number.
answer
I
the
called his
phone?
number. It is some Nigerian answered the phone. Was that you? Was that you, Boxing Hacker? I remember it was a Nigerian. We on to you, boy.
We
You know
on
what I'm
to you,
saying?
boxing hacker.
But I ain't mad at Boxing Hacker. I'm actually looking forward to Brian Norman and Devin Haney. So after Devin Haney get knocked out, I just want to see the agony of Boxing Hacker. I just want to rub it in his face, and I just want
You gonna disappear.
to pour salt in the room, and I just want to make sure he understands that Devin Haney is finished. You know what I'm saying? I want to rub it like it's gonna be a glorious moment. That Haney pack gonna be smoking at all time high. You know what I'm saying? I can't wait.
What you think about the fights this weekend, though? And what you think about Turkey trolling Shakur, real quick?
I think Turkey troller. He knows Shakur gonna beat the shit out of Zapata. He doing that shit to make Shakur look good. Like, yeah, small win, ain't no excuses. You know what I'm saying?
He gonna stop him? Shakur gonna stop Zapata, or he just gonna beat him 12?
I think he gonna stop him like in the 10th round.
You put money on it?
I ain't gonna put no money on it because it's still Shakur. He might break his hand and break his hand in the middle of the fight and shit, and then start doing the damn Del Santos. You ain't never know. But I think he should pay to somebody he can't stop. You know what I'm saying? He should stop Zapata.
Facts. Well, all right, no cap. Put your notifications on. Check for me throughout the week because I'm gonna be doing some pop-up lives. Thank you for coming up and giving your 2 cents. Yeah, I started at 10:30. You can't be late, bro. You missed the whole live.
I know. I was on 8 shit for a bit when y'all start. I didn't even know you was on.
Oh, they still over there? They left?
He's still over there. I'm on both of y'all at the same time. I'm on both panels at the same time.
Okay. What up, Rick? What up, Rick? What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show? I'm about to hop off of here real quick. Rick, you always out and about, man. What you be doing in these Houston streets, man? You always out somewhere.
Say, man, hey, I'm out here letting life live. That's what I'm doing out here, man. Living life.
What's your 2 cents? What you got for the show?
Hey, yeah, I know you about to sign off. Hey, I just want to say this about about Shakur, man. The level of disrespect and just flat out um disbelief. I mean, the insults. I mean, everything is lining up for him to fix. The only way he gonna fix all this Turkish shit, all this disrespect in these chats, on all these different YouTube pages, television, is by winning convincingly. It's time for him to shit or get off the pot, because now is definitely the time for him to show up and show out. I mean, do he really have that in him? Is Shakur really about that life? I mean, the way Turkey been handling him is like, dude, you ain't who you claim to be. This man been handling you like you an upcoming prospect, like you ain't a multiple time champ, like you not undefeated, like you not really gifted. So the only thing that's gonna fix this is a dominant, convincing, massive win over this Zapata machine. So the big question is, can he pull it off? Will he pull it off? Because otherwise, what's going on now is gonna magnify if he get in there and lay another Edwin De Los Santos egg. You know, this not Padley this time. So, dude, if you want to stop all this chatter out of here, you want to end the disrespect, you want to eliminate this level of insult. I mean, it's shit. It done got out of hand, and some of it he done drawn on himself, you know, with past performances. And a lot of it is not self-inflicted. It's just flat-out hatred. It's flat-out unfairness. So the only way you fix that is kicking some goddamn ass and doing it convincingly and saying, I am him. So I'm really excited to see if he gonna be able to pull that off, because this machine he got in front of him is gonna make him work for it. And I fully expect Shakur to show up and show out and get rid of this Zapata dude like he should, like he's supposed to, especially with this level of disrespect Turkey been showing lately. It's only set up for him to, hey, if this don't motivate you, dude, nothing gonna motivate him. Nothing.
It's now or never, Rick. It's now or never, Rick.
Hey, that's all I got, man. I'm a holler.
All right, Rick. Peace out.
All right.
All right, no cap. Peace out. I'm gonna check you over there, H. I want to thank everybody for joining me tonight for 2 Cents After Dark. It's fight week. You got the all-women card on Friday. You got Shakur Stevenson. You got Puello, some real Matia. It's going down this weekend for the boxing. I'm gonna be on here. We're gonna watch the fights together. We're gonna chill. We're gonna talk. We're gonna hang out. Listen, be sure to help support the channel by punching that like and subscribe button. If you're listening to the replay of this live, make sure you let me know and drop it below your 2 cents as we go throughout the live today. Be sure to help support the channel by hitting the Cash App at 2 Cents Boxing, or leaving a super thanks if you're listening to the replay. Interesting topics today. Shakur Stevenson is now or never. It's do or die. This is the fight right here. This is the moment everybody's been waiting on. Turkey Al-Sheikh, it is what it is. He gonna do what he gonna do. But we gotta figure out why these fights just not selling tickets within the United States. Not even Shakur fans going to the fight. But listen, if you don't want your host all in the videos, timing you out, cussing you out, kicking you off the panel, leaving you in the background, kicking you out the chat, come on over to 2 Cents Boxing, where we talk everything boxing and everybody's entitled to their own opinion.